Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
You nailed it, Jimmy. You nailed it. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on Crime and Sports this week. Oh, we're excited as usual.
Yes.
We have a crazy story again this week, as usual. Like I said, when is it not a crazy story
Every
on Crime and Sports?
Every fucking week is insane.
It really seems to get crazier and crazier.
They do it.
It's wild. First, before we get into any of that, go to crimeinsports.threadless.com.
Yes.
And you can get everything crime and sports and small town murder.
Yes.
All sorts of merch. We have everything from bath mats that say, "You, sir, may fuck off."
That's amazing.
Signs say, you name it, what we say, it's on there. Always.
It's for you.
It's for you. We have everything: shirts, cups, mugs, hoodies, bath mats, shower curtains, onesies. People bought... We sold "You Sir May Fuck Off" onesies.
I love that.
There will be children with "You Sir May Fuck Off" on their chest.
Can I hold your kid? "You Sir May Fuck Off."
Exactly. That's good. And I like the fact that a lot of women are buying them to wear to the gym. To as like a leave me alone type of thing. And I'm like, that is fucking awesome. That's really cool.
Don't stare at my tits while I'm on this leg press.
Can you
How
do
about
that?
you back off?
Exactly. So that's pretty cool. I enjoyed hearing about that. And thank you guys for everybody who's bought stuff so far. But get on there, check it out. Lots of cool stuff. Christmas is coming up.
We're saving fucking women from being...
Well, we're not saving anything. They're saving themselves.
We're helping women in terms of their self-defense and keep creepers away.
It's an initial wall.
Look, I'm not some piece of meat for you.
I'm not the one to talk to.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not the one to bother while I'm trying to be on the goddamn elliptical.
I'm trying to get my cardio in.
Absolutely. So head over to Threadless there, crimeinsports.threadless.com, and you can get all of that. Thank you guys so much for your iTunes reviews this week. They were incredible. You guys came through again for us, even over the holiday week. Thank you guys. You worked for us. We worked for you over the holidays. You worked for us. Thank you guys so much.
Back scratching all around.
I would say. Don't forget about live show.
Yes.
There is live shows coming up. The one that's very important to talk about is Chicago, December the 14th at Lincoln Hall. Get your tickets now, lh-st.com.
What was that?
lh-st.com.
Is it lh-st.com?
That's the one.
Right.
Head over there. Get your tickets. Seriously, you don't want to go. If you do buy them walk up, they're more expensive, and who knows if they're going to be there.
Get them online so that you guarantee you get a seat.
Do that. Also, thank you guys for your Patreon contributions this week, for all the amazing people that have done that. We have a long list of amazing producers we're going to get to later on, but thank you guys so much for that. That's the fuel that really...
Yeah.
That keeps this fire going.
For sure.
We can't thank you enough. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do that over at patreon.com/crimeinsports.
That's the one.
And every penny counts. If you'd say, "Oh, well, they don't care about $1," we would love $1.
Yeah.
And we're incredibly appreciative for $1. Even it doesn't matter. It's not the amount; it's that you would do it at all.
And the other thing is, make sure that your family is taken care of before you chip off a dime to us.
That's the thing.
If you're going to give us money, make sure that you're eating first. Don't be crazy.
That's fine. Don't be nuts about it.
Right.
And if you want to make a one-time donation, that is possible and unbelievably appreciated as well over at PayPal. You can do that using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one.
You can do that. Hope you enjoyed last week with Terry Underwood.
God.
That was a crazy episode.
How did nobody know about that?
I have no idea how, because he wasn't that famous, I guess. But
famous enough,
and the story was crazy to where it's he didn't even have a Wikipedia page.
No.
I mean, not even a Wikipedia page.
The man had the most rushing yards ever in high school in the area he was in.
Yeah,
that should be huge. That should be huge news. He dominated in college and in high school.
You would think,
granted, he washes out of the NFL, but whatever.
Still, that level of brutality, you think you would have heard about a little more than we did.
He stabbed her through her face into her shoulder.
God, that was so many.
That's
88.
crazy.
That's so many. 88 stab. If you missed last week, there was 88 stab wounds
88
involved.
stab wounds. That's more stab wounds than a lot of running backs get in yardage on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Game. So that was crazy. That's a wild story. Go back and listen to Terry Underwood if you did not last week. If you missed that one because of the holiday or whatever, you want to hear that one.
No doubt.
That's one of the craziest stories we've ever done. It really
was. Ridiculous.
But never mind that because we have another crazy-ass story
you found
for tonight.
Another asshole?
It's surprising, right? Actually, this guy's a really nice guy. He's a good person. Couple of mistakes, but who doesn't make mistakes? He's just a nice guy. And when he realized his errors, he corrected them immediately.
Of course.
And everything is fine now.
Fantastic.
Have we done any stories like that whatsoever? The only one that was close was Willie Mays Aikens.
Yes.
Who, after repeatedly fucking up and literally getting to the point where he was being robbed by Mexican prostitutes in a shitty hotel and having a Mexican pimp knock on his door with 2 guns blazing, asking him, "How is it you've come to arrive here?" That's the origin of that. He went from that. It took him to get to there, but then he said, "I got to get my shit together."
You're right.
And actually did for like 25 years, get his shit together.
And now he's doing fine, right? He's like
a coach for the Royals. He's doing fantastic.
Okay,
He's doing great. Turned his whole life around, doing great. But
or it's Trevor
rare.
Burbick who fucking dies in the streets of fucking Jamaica.
Yeah, God, by his nephew, by his nephew's hand. Jesus, that is awful. So
ridiculous.
You should check that episode out too. I think it's 64, 63.
Dan Cummins.
It's with Dan Cummins, hilarious comedian and host of the Time Suck podcast,
who will be with us in Detroit.
On February the 16th, we'll be in Detroit doing some stand-up with Dan. Get your tickets now.
Right.
It's at the Magic Bag. We'll put a link in the show description anyway.
TheMagicBag.com.
Let's talk about our guy for the night, for the day. Mm-hmm. It is Rudolph Leopold Poeschek.
Oh.
Know who he is?
No.
Ever heard of him?
No, he sounds fucking royal, though.
Rudy Poeschek is what he goes by. Less royal.
Yeah.
Leopold, I think, is what threw you off.
Is he a white guy?
European. Yeah, he's European. Is it Czech? Poeschek.
Okay.
His last name is spelled Poeschek.
Jesus.
If there's a silent S, that motherfucker's white.
If he donated to us, I would ruin that for sure.
Destroy that name. It looks like Poeschek, but I know just from hearing countless announcers, it's Poeschek.
Poeschek
is what they call him. But yeah, silent S means white.
Okay.
Silent S equals white, period. Generally not a lot. It's just the way it works.
That's a good rule of thumb.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of nicknames, which is interesting. And I didn't hear him. It's funny because when you read about all through their career, you don't hear about like, oh, this guy nickname and like I played today.
Yeah.
But you'll hear like later on that was his nickname. So I'm like, did they just make that up? I have no idea. But I saw it in a million different places. They called him the Lion Killer, number 1.
Okay.
He's a hockey player.
What the fuck?
And he's he's not. You were like, are we doing like a circus guy?
What is this?
He's like, what fucking sport are we doing?
What sport is a lion killer?
No lions involved in this.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's never been a lion on the ice.
You would win if you were on skates and he was on the ice.
The only time lions have been on the ice
kick a lion's
is
ass.
in Ice Age. Yeah. Is in the movie Ice Age. It's a cartoon.
It's the only way you can beat a lion is if you're on skates and he's on the ice.
There's
I think you could take
a saber-tooth tiger too, by the way, in that movie. So
sharp claws, you can dig in.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's one of his nicknames is Pot Pie.
What the fuck?
Which I don't know why.
These are the worst nicknames of all time.
Pot Pie.
What?
So Lion Killer is because he fights and he'll fight anybody, basically. That's how he is. He's crazy. He fights guys. Pot Pie, he likes pot pies,
He's
I guess.
A hungry fuck.
He loves those weird peas that never cook enough, I guess.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they never
pot
cook
pies
enough.
They're either blazing fucking fire
or
hot
horrible,
or they're horrific.
Or they're a mess.
And either way, when they're blazing hot, they're horrific.
They're horrific,
A pot pie is a terrible
No one's ever enjoyed a pot pie. They'll say they like pot pies. They'll buy pot pies.
I'll eat a pot pie. That's what it is. You'll eat a pot pie, but you will not like a pot pie.
You don't want a pot pie. You're not. No one goes, I want a pot pie for dinner. That doesn't happen very often.
It's never been your first choice.
Unless you grew up in the Depression.
I'll eat anything. I'll eat a pot pie.
Everything we got, just put it all in and put the dough on top and bake it just fine. Make a crust. Make a fucking crust and bake it. We'll just eat it. Pretend I don't care.
It's Depression era people that's the only time it's ever been the first choice. It's because it's the last choice.
Someone's like, there's shoelaces in here. Like, it's fine. Just eat it. It's okay. Eat your pot pie, goddammit.
Charlie Buckets would eat fucking cabbage soup before he eats a pot pie.
So maybe that was the problem. All they had was shoelace pot pie at his house. So Rudy Kotpai Poeschek, the Lion Killer. He is born September the 29th, 1966.
Okay.
He's from Kamloops, British Columbia in Canada, obviously. He's a hockey player.
Of course.
He's going to be probably Canadian if you're dealing with one from back in these days.
Who's got a nickname of Pot Pie?
Pot Pie.
He's for sure a hockey player.
He is absolutely.
And Canadian.
6'2", 220.
Wow.
So pretty big dude when he grows up here and plays hockey.
Guys that big kill lions.
Allegedly so. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. But we won't pin any crimes on him yet. It started out his hockey obsession at 5 years old. There's a skating competition. And he's in the skating competition because that's what you do when you're 5 and you live in British Columbia and you live in Canada. You do every skating competition. And he met up with, at this competition, Vancouver Canucks team captain at the time, Orland Kurtenbach. Okay. A big hero of yours, I know. Lots of Orland Kurtenbach
big fan.
Posters on your wall growing up. It's very big. But this is a big deal for him. Because you're in BC, this is Vancouver's team. And, it's British Columbia, and he's the captain. So
that's your guy.
Yeah. He was excited by this.
That's your Barry Bonds.
And I guess Rudy was a year younger than all the other kids in the race somehow. He was a year younger, so the guy, the Orland Kurtenbach, like warmed up to him and was nice to him.
Great.
And treated like, hey, buddy, it's okay, because, whatever. So he would help him out and was nice to him.
Take him under his wing.
Yeah. Poeschek said, quote, he took a real liking to me and he was walking around the arena with me on his shoulders. After that, my goal as a 5-year-old was to play in the NHL.
Can you imagine?
So that's it. Set. 5 years old.
Who's your guy from the Giants when you were 5? I can't even
Lawrence
think.
Taylor.
Was he there when you were 5?
Yeah, he came in 82.
Okay, all right. So yes, if that fucking guy, if LT puts you on his shoulder and fucking runs you down the field, you want to be you want to be a Giant. You want to play football. Oh my God, get out of here.
That's it. That's all.
I lose my mind.
That's what I mean. So this guy, and honestly, he was a young boy growing up in Canada. At some point, he would have his life goal would have been to play in the NHL at some point. But this sped it up a little bit, sped the process up a little bit here.
It would be everything. Your whole life would be just G-Men.
You'd be so excited. So he just wants to play in the NHL. It's all he cares about from 5 years old. He bounces around. They're in Kamloops there. They go to 100 Mile House is the name of a town.
What the fuck?
It's a town and district municipality located in I can't make this up, it's Canada, located in the South Caribou region of British Columbia. South Caribou.
You guys got a North Moose region? What the fuck is this?
Good God, man. Jesus Christ. That is
the Western Wolf region.
What
the shit is this?
What is 100 Mile House, number one? That's a town, okay. And then South Caribou. I was like, I need to write this shit all down. Fuck? This all needs to write down. Also,
Sarah Palin is rubbing her giner to this, too.
You know it.
She's like, this sounds hot.
This sounds great. Also spent time in Kitimat and Vernon. Around there. These are all towns around there. By the time he's 17, he is super into hockey. He's been playing this whole time.
12 years into his fantasy right now.
He's goddamn good. He's a defenseman. So he's not the greatest skater or skill player, but he plays an effort guy.
He's 6'2". Can you imagine a 6'2" guy on skates?
Well, it happens. There's a lot of them now, but he's not a skill guy. He's a guy. He's a defenseman. He plays on effort, and they're going to want him to fight a little bit. He's going to
He's going to be their goon.
If you're going to be a defenseman and you're not going to have great skills, guess what you better do? You better be able to sock somebody in the fucking face, especially in the early 80s. I was like, that's part of it. You got to go fight. Wait till you hear the fights this guy got into.
I can't wait.
We've done boxers that haven't fought half as many fights as this guy. I'm not even shitting you. Not even a third.
That's amazing.
Have champions haven't fought a half or a third of the fights as this guy. It's insane.
Oh, that's a teaser there.
It's wild,
man. I can't wait.
He ends up at 17. He goes back and forth between a couple of teams. First of all, he starts out with a junior league team. It's the British Columbia Junior Hockey League, the Vernon Rangers, who turned into the Vernon Vipers later on. It's a junior A hockey team. It's like a rookie league, basically, like below that, like for baseball. It'd be like,
And at 17, that's what he's playing at.
That's what he's playing there. They play their home games at the Cal Tire Place.
Of course they do.
Very exciting there. That year, he plays in 54 games, has 4 goals and 10 assists, but 100 penalty minutes.
My Christ.
Not fucking around.
What do you get for a fight? Is it 3?
There's a major, there's a minor, there's 5s, and we've gone over this every hockey episode.
So he's got 110?
He's got 110 or 100 penalty minutes here in 54 games. He was fighting. That they told him, if you want to be on the team, you're going to fight, because he went up from there.
He's averaging almost 2 minutes a game.
That's the thing, man. That's all the time, and it gets worse. I mean, he ends up with the Kamloops Blazers, who's they're a major junior ice hockey team. Basically, they're up the scale a little bit, and also with the Ravelstoke Rangers in 83-84. That's the junior league. So he's going back and forth. They're bouncing in between the junior league and the it's the Western Hockey League. The WHL is what the Kamloops Blazers are in. So he's bouncing back and forth between a lower level and a higher level this whole time here. By the way, we're going to find out all these hockey teams. It's not a good thing to own a minor league hockey team.
No.
Not one of them is still in business.
Really?
We're going to talk about
They're all defunct.
We'll talk about when the Revelstoke Rangers went out of business in 85. This is 83-84. By the next year, they weren't even a fucking team anymore.
Revelstoke sounds tough, though. That sounds cool.
Tough. They renamed them the Revelstoke Rockets because the name was the problem, not the fucking fact that nobody wanted to watch them play.
It's definitely the Rangers that's making people not show up.
Yeah, that's the part.
You got to pick Rockets. That's when they start coming.
Let's do an in their own words about his first year here in hockey. In their own words, quote, "Because of my first year in hockey, that's how I became a tough guy. It was back and forth between Kamloops and Revelstoke, sometimes playing 6 games in a week because I was playing in both places. When I got called up, I wanted to do anything I could to stay. That's where I started becoming confident with the fighting, and I saw it as a means to sticking. Once I was in that mode, I stuck in it. I was so dominant at doing it, and when you realize you're good at doing something, you start enjoying it too."
He's not wrong.
He liked punching people in the face, and he didn't give a shit, and he had a lot of balls, and he did it. And
he's good at it.
And he's pretty damn good at it, I gotta say. I watched a lot of fights. He's pretty goddamn good at it. He'll fight guys bigger than him. He doesn't give a shit. He's got a lot of balls. He's the lion killer, damn it.
No doubt.
Give that man a pot pie. So, with Revelstoke, he has 22 games, 5 goals, 21 assists.
Yeah, go ahead.
For a defenseman.
I'm just picturing him like it's so gross, but I picture him like taking a spoonful of the pot pie and then sucking in the shoestring.
like spaghetti at the end. I like that a lot. That's good stuff right there. Picturing that too.
It's disgusting.
Maybe don't get him a pot pie.
What a vile fucking meal. Anyway, go on.
So, Revelstoke, 22 games, 5 goals, 21 assists, but 107 penalty minutes in 22 games.
In 22 games?
22 games.
That's like 5 minutes a game.
Yeah, that's a fight a game.
Holy shit.
He's fighting his ass off here. Kamloops here, he goes up and plays there. They play at the Sandman Center back then here. With Kamloops, he does a good job. 47 games, so he sticks up a little more up there. 3 goals, 9 assists, 93 penalty minutes. He's still fighting here.
He's trimming it down a little, though.
He is. He starts taking it off. He wants to calm down. Yeah. He fights a guy named Ken Fenton, who was known as like the badass dude of the league, basically. He was the enforcer of the time. Some minor league guy, never made it anywhere. Rudy says, quote, "He was my first fight. I kicked his ass pretty good. I beat him real bad." There you go.
All right.
That's his thoughts on that. Kicked his ass real good. Fuck that guy. There's a fuck that guy in there.
For sure. And if he didn't say it, he was definitely thinking it.
He nodded like, fucking that, fuck that guy.
You know what I mean.
You know what happened. So 84-85, he's with Kamloops of the WHL again. He says that he wouldn't have described himself as a tough guy before he was playing junior hockey.
Yeah.
But then he says when you first start fighting, you don't really know how to fight. You're going off instinct. You're just learning along as you go along.
That's kind of all fighting.
That's all fighting, yeah.
Unless you're training to actually fight professionally. That's pretty much how it goes. Yeah. Listen, I'm a professional at getting my ass kicked. I have done it so many times. I can take a punch like nobody's business.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
It's a great thing to know, too,
he
how to take a punch.
As we'll find out from this particular show, you don't want to take too many punches.
No.
Because, no, you don't. Let's just say that.
Bad
things happen later if you do.
You think maybe you can't pronounce fucking normal people's names when you take punches too many times?
Possibly, yes. That happens. But have silver-haired, middle-aged white men come out of the woodwork to help you? Okay, you haven't been doing it right.
Enough.
You haven't taken enough shots to the head. It'll happen. Don't worry. It'll happen here. Yeah. He said that the fact that he, bouncing back and forth between the two teams helped him be a good fighter.
Yeah.
He said that, quote, he'd go down to Revelstoke broke, and I'd be fighting all the time against these younger guys. Then I'd have confidence, and I would go back to the Western League, and I was fighting all these older guys who were supposedly tough. So he's like, I've been practicing.
Yeah.
I've been kicking the young guys' asses for all week. You had 2 days off. I was fighting.
He's like a boxing champ where you fight the tin cans, and then you go fight the contenders.
That's what it is, man. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I got a couple warm-up fights. He says one fight stands out from his time in Kamloops.
Oh, boy.
It's a guy named Stu. He's known as a legendary enforcer up there named Stu Grissom, who sounds like a Canadian enforcer. Stu, S-T-U, Stu Grissom at the Memorial Arena in the 84 WHL final.
Wow.
So the team was pretty good. He said that the coach didn't want to put in Rudy to take on this Grissom, Grimson guy.
Okay.
He said, Rudy said, quote, he's like, just leave him on the ice. He's not that good. I was like, that's what they say about me. He was worried if I lost the fight, it would give their team momentum. Rudy said he found himself on the ice, and the Grimson wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
So Rudy said, I looked over at the bench, and LaFour just shaking his head, no, that's his coach.
Yeah.
Then I look at Stu and I say, fuck this, we're fighting. I wasn't going to turn him down. The fight went really well in my favor. I ended up cutting him up for 9 stitches and closing one of his eyes. I beat him pretty good, and it helped us win that championship.
Holy shit.
I had the fans chanting my name. They used to chant, Rudy, Rudy. That was pretty special. That's Rudy, Rudy for some guy who's not a little fucking pudgy punk ass who shouldn't be on the goddamn field for Notre Dame, you fucking bastards. Fuck Rudy. God damn it. They chant Rudy, Rudy at him.
The man's nickname, or the man's name that he fought had Grim in it. That's terrifying.
Yes.
And he beat the shit out of him.
He beat the shit out of him. And the funny thing is, I'll get into it later, but I've seen him fight.
Yeah.
Live at Madison Square Garden.
Really?
I've seen it. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah. It's
at Madison Square Garden?
The Rangers.
Okay. He played for the Rangers.
Yeah, he plays a Rangers-Penguins game back in the day, but we'll get into it later.
All right.
Okay. So June 15th, 1985 is the NHL early entry draft. Exciting times here. It's held at the Metro Toronto Convention Center in Ontario, and it was attended by 7,000 fans.
Wow.
This is back when the NFL draft was barely even noticed.
Yeah.
5 years before that, it was just in a conference room with guys writing shit down on slips of paper.
Right.
They just started bringing a few fans in, and let's try to make this
They're getting 7,000.
7,000
for hockey.
It's a big deal in Canada, man. So it's huge. This was the first one of these to take place outside of Montreal. The entry draft. They did it in Toronto. 252 players get drafted in this draft. Number 1 overall was Wendell Clark.
Okay.
He played for the Maple Leafs. I love some of these teams they came from. He came from the Saskatoon Blades of the WHL. That is hot shit, man. There's so many of these. The Hamilton Steelhawks.
That actually sounds tough.
Prince Albert Raiders.
That's not good.
That doesn't sound
Prince
great
Albert,
at all.
that's a piercing on your dickhead,
isn't it?
That's
what I mean. Well, apparently he'll raid your ass too. He had teammates. A guy named Ryan Stewart is drafted in the first round from Kamloops, actually. So that's interesting. Gets drafted to Winnipeg.
That's the Jets that ended up coming here.
Yes, exactly. Ended up becoming the Coyotes.
Right.
There's a team called, a guy named Troy Gamble was drafted in the second round, and he's from a WHL team called the Medicine Hat Tigers.
The what?
The Medicine Hat Tigers.
What is that? Where is Medicine Hat?
I have no...
Or is it is it a town called Medicine, and these are the Hat Tigers? What is this?
I have no idea.
This is a ridiculous name.
But number 34 overall in the second round, a guy named Brad Lauger was drafted by the Islanders. You know what minor league WHL team he played for?
No.
The Regina Pats.
Oh, is that right?
We're back on the Regina
I love
Pats.
that hat.
That's, as we said, I think it was Mike Danton, the Regina Pats, which sounds like a very odd venereal disease. I've got the Regina Pats. It's not great. It's very gross. So
I've got to pat it to make it feel better.
I got to pat it.
But I've got a hat. Who was it that mailed those to us? I forget who mailed them to us. But we've got their hats.
Yeah, I have.
I wear it all the time, and I love it.
It's a cool hat.
It's got a P on it, and like a big fat one. It looks so rad.
That's a cool hat, man. Yeah. So another guy got drafted from the Medicine Hat Tigers, which is insane, and also a defenseman for Kamloops got a guy at his position at his team got drafted in the second round. This is a 12 round draft altogether. Rudy is selected by the New York Rangers in round 12.
Holy shit, he almost didn't make it.
Almost didn't make it. Mid-round 12.
Ouch.
Number 238 overall. That is a lot,
Welcome
man.
to the Rangers with your new ulcer.
Yeah, no
that
shit.
Would be brutal.
Oh, my God. He said he was playing cards with teammates, at the house of somebody named Doris Rubel, who he was playing cards there, and he said, quote, being drafted in the last round, it's a long day.
Yeah.
I finally got a call from my agent. I didn't care if I was drafted in the last round. I was just happy to be drafted.
Yeah.
I remember I kept saying, I'm a Ranger. So he gets drafted by the Rangers. Here he is. So he's excited, obviously. This has been his dream since he was fucking 5 years old. Now he's going to be in the NHL.
It's reality.
It's goddamn reality.
It's amazing.
Who wouldn't be excited about this? He gets to training camp with the Rangers. Didn't last long in training, but he's a rookie. He's a new kid. He's not expected to last. He's not going to make the team.
Okay.
He's a 12th rounder.
Yeah.
I mean, they have literally 12 other guys that they just drafted who have a much better chance of making the team than he does at this point. So he goes back to the Blazers to play this, WHL, back with Kamloops in 85-86. Plays in 32 games, has 3 goals, 13 assists. Never a lot of goals because you're a defenseman back there, but he'll pop an assist in every once in a while. 92 penalty minutes again.
Fuck.
So he's cooking. He's letting those Rangers know, hey, I will fight.
I'll be down here punching faces till you need me back.
I'll be down here punching dudes who are going fishing when this is over. That's fine. No problem. Every guy I've punched
punching dudes that are going fishing when this is over.
Every man I've punched certified has killed a moose. Every one of them.
That's amazing.
Impressive shit. So, 86-87 with Kamloops again, 54 games. 13 goals, which that's not bad. 13 goals, 18 assists. That's 31 points in 54 games for a defenseman. That's damn good. I don't know that much about hockey, but I know basics enough to know that that's pretty fucking good.
That's points.
Also, 153 penalty minutes. 153.
He's kicking ass and scoring goals. That's what he's doing.
Score a goal. Hold on. I'm going to punch you, but wait 1 second. Let me score. All right, there we go.
Slap shot. Come here,
2-1.
fucker.
Get over here, motherfucker. Let's go. Come on, Stu. Drop the gloves, asshole. I had an extra big pot pie before today. I'm ready to fucking kick ass. That shoelace was filled with iron.
Unbelievable.
Iron and protein and nutrients.
The iron in it was actually the ends.
It was actual
It was
iron.
made of iron.
It was made. They were made of iron. They didn't have plastic back then when they put them on. These are Depression-era shoelaces. You know how it works. So, 87-88, he plays with the Colorado Rangers of the IHL.
Okay.
They turned into the Denver Rangers after that. They were in Denver, Colorado for the 88-89 season. Member of the IHL, which is the International Hockey League. It was originally, this team was the Indianapolis Checkers, but then they moved to Denver because it's better than Indianapolis. So,
what the hell's a checker?
I have no idea.
Is this like...
Indianapolis has weird
is
team
your
names back
mascot
in the
like
day,
a
too.
grocery store clerk? What is a checker?
I don't know what a checker is exactly. I don't know what that is.
Like I can't wrap my head around it.
I don't know. I picture Chubby Checker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he their mascot?
I think he's their mascot.
Right up until he died, and then they're like, we got to move.
It's a big, happy, fat guy. They're like, this isn't going to work out here. They moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and became the Phoenix Roadrunners.
I was just going to ask you.
In 1989, after the 89 season. So
okay.
you probably grew up with this team here. They're an IHL affiliate of the Rangers. He ended up, this is like a professional team. This is their affiliate. This isn't like a junior Western Hockey League.
I swear to you right now, I legitimately was going to ask you, is the IHL what the Roadrunners were
exactly.
in? That makes sense.
This is the exact team here.
Okay.
So that's a professional roster to get on the Rangers, the Denver Rangers. So he's fucking excited about that. Had a first fight, obviously, against somebody he knew. Stu Grimson. So he fights Stu right away. Let's get it in their own words on this deal
from
here.
Him.
From Rudy on this here. In their own words. Quote, Stu Grimson. He was playing in Salt Lake, and our minor league captain, he came over and talked to me, and he said, you ever fought Grimson before? I said, oh, yeah, I beat him in junior. He said, well, beat him again tonight, and it'll make everything easier for us. I ended up fighting him and ended up winning, so I guess it did help. I knew that's why I got drafted. You're continuously getting to be a better fighter.
I like it.
So back in the day, this is not how hockey is anymore at all. They don't draft guys to fight anymore.
No, there's no more goons.
There's no more.
Well, they're there.
But that's not all they can do. These guys were literally, he's out there to protect the scorer and to fight a guy to fight somebody. And
just to punch the biggest dude on the ice.
That's it. It's like, every good scorer has a goon.
Right.
Marty McSorley had, followed Gretzky around and all that kind of shit, and Buka Boom when he went to the Rangers. They have fucking goons. It's just the way it works.
Right.
then McSorley became Lemieux's goon in Pittsburgh. Like
that's just the strategy.
You need to know if you take a cheap shot at Mario Lemieux, this guy is going to come fucking slash you in the head with his fucking stick. Period. He's going to
and he'll do the time for it.
He doesn't care. That's his job. His job is literally to then fuck you up.
You know what? Hockey is just as street gangster as anything.
It is. It's
unbelievable.
And that's what's beautiful about this back then. I mean, we're going to find out why it's not beautiful, but these guys, they policed themselves.
Yeah.
There was no need for any shit. Because if you took a cheap shot, you were going to pay for that shit because every team had a guy whose job it was to enforce the rules of the game, and that's what they were doing. And it was amazing.
And they do the time for it.
No
that's
problem.
Amazing.
Skate right off happily.
It's gangster
arms in the air, people cheering for them. I love when you watch a game.
That's the equivalent of a guy taking a fucking rap and going to prison for it. That's amazing.
Just going, I ain't going to tell on nobody. No, I take that shit. Like Weebay on The Wire, like we was talking about earlier. He's just sitting there. They're like, all these murders. He's like, I did that one. I did that one, too. I'm going away for life. Might as well take all my boys' murders with me.
Unbelievable.
That's what this is. This is some gangster shit. Weebay off the ice. Weebay's a soldier, goddammit.
The NHL is the wire.
The NHL is the
white wire.
It's the white, the very, very white wire. Exactly. NHL, the white wire. So he gets in a fight.
Yeah.
He beats Stu again here. Like we said, he just keeps fighting in Denver. The Rangers like what they see here. Yeah. He plays in 82 games that year for Denver. 7 goals, 31 assists.
My God.
Which is great.
Yeah.
210 penalty minutes.
Jesus,
he's cooking. That motherfucker is in the box, man.
That is so much.
Jesus Christ! So that is a lot of time in the box.
That's unbelievable. That's really doing the time though. That's 200 minutes.
He's in there so often. He brings a book out to the bench with him on the ice. He's like, just leave that in the box. I'm going to need that later because I'll be in there.
3 hours in the penalty box in a season.
That's amazing. That's a whole
enough
game.
That's 3 episodes of The Wire.
I was going to say, he could have found out. Yeah, he could have found out with the fate of Omar mid-5th season. He could have found that out. He could have known.
Unbelievable.
I'm telling you what happened. So, I don't know. He plays 1 game with the Rangers that year. They actually, I guess, call him up to take a look at him for 1 game.
So he got it, an actual game.
He got in an actual game. No goals, no assists. 2 penalty minutes, though. He does fuck up. He had no points, 2 penalty minutes. In his words, he said, quote, no fights. He said, they really didn't have anyone to drop gloves with. When I was there on the ice, there wasn't any takers.
He just called them all pussies.
He was looking for fights.
Yeah.
He said, when I was there on the ice, there wasn't any takers.
Nobody would fight.
No, he's going around fucking with people, looking for someone to fight. That's what he was there for. And he's like, no one wanted to fight.
Starting problems.
They didn't have anyone to drop the gloves with, so I said, fuck it here.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
And now back to the show.
88-89 with the Denver Rangers. Mm-hmm. He only plays in 2 games. Mm-hmm. He has no goals, no assists, 6 penalty minutes.
Okay.
And the reason he only plays in 2 games is because he is called up to the big show.
Oh, boy.
He's going to New York, man. He goes with the big club. Rudy in New York gets 52. He's in 52 games that year. A lot of fights.
Yeah.
A lot of fights.
Oh, I'm sure.
He had 25 fighting majors.
Jesus.
Penalties that year. We'll get into some of his fights here. He says, quote, I was busy fighting just about every game. I was just happy to be there, and I was doing whatever I had to do to stay. So
I'm just happy. Have you ever been anywhere and been like, I'm just happy to be
I'm
here?
Just happy to be here.
Punch somebody?
I'm happy to be here. Anybody who wants to fight me, I'm going to crack him right in the nose. I'm just looking for fights. That's all.
That's awesome.
No one who's happy to be anywhere has ever been like looking for a fight, but this guy is here. He said that this was like dream come true time because you have to understand the Rangers play in Madison Square Garden in fucking Manhattan in the middle of New York City.
Yeah.
This guy is from British Columbia, from a small bunch of 100-mile house. This is not normal for him. So now he's so young. He was born in 1966. He was playing junior leagues at 16.
Right.
So he's 23 years old right now.
And he was fighting caribou off the lake so that he could skate.
Yeah, he needed to clear them off.
Right.
So this is huge. He's like a big shot.
Yeah.
In New York City, he's on the Rangers,
Look
which is
at
a big
all these
deal.
lights.
Yeah, he appeared on the old David Letterman show before he moved earlier when he was on after Johnny Carson. He appeared on that. He appeared on the Howard Stern show.
What?
When it was just a radio show back then that was 1989?
Yeah.
88, 89. Stern was a New York radio guy. I mean, it was syndicated, but he wasn't Howard Stern.
I've heard every Howard Stern show since probably 95.
Okay, well, this is I think it was 89 he was on the show.
Go on.
So, yeah, he was on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
He says, quote, I remember having dinner with Christopher Reeve, Donald Trump.
What?
Yeah, he's Christopher Reeve, Superman.
Yeah.
If you don't know Donald Trump, I'm pretty sure you know who he is.
Unfortunately.
He said,
sorry about that.
Either way you feel, you know who he is.
Right.
He said he still considers James Lipton a close friend.
Wow.
Yeah, first of all, some crazy Canadian guy with a silent S in his name fucking punching everyone he encounters is hanging out with James Lipton.
James Lipton.
Tell me what makes you such a wonderful fighter.
What's your favorite word?
What's your favorite punch? What's your favorite part of the face to punch? Tell me, you glorious man.
I can't get through my day without knowing. I'm giving him a shit accent that he doesn't have, which is
Where would you like to punch me? Anywhere? You can punch me anywhere. It would be, sir, it would be an honor. That's
my pleasure.
My pleasure to take a shot. So he said also, quote, our captain at the time was dating a supermodel, and after the game he would say, you want to go to a party? So that's the thing.
Fuck yes, I do.
So he would go to parties with these people who were famous. Yeah. It was probably Messier at the time. No, Messier wasn't there yet. He was still in Edmonton. I'm not sure.
86?
89. So I'm not sure yet. So he was... Either way, my timeline will get mixed up. But whoever the captain of the Rangers was, and
I made that. I said in what year, and then I was like, "Why am I asking?
I don't know who the captain of the Rangers was in any time period." I know it was Messier in the '90s. Okay. That's all I know. That's it. But yeah, I didn't know ever at all anything.
In my head, I was trying to think of a Ranger, and I think Messier's maybe the only one that I would have, and it would have taken me an hour to find that.
Mike Richter, no. Fuck. All right. So now that we've named all the 90s goalies, because I haven't seen any Ranger games since 1996 probably.
Perfect.
So when I moved away from New York. Yeah, he's going out to parties with supermodels and fucking celebrities and Superman. He's fucking hanging out with Superman.
This is crazy.
If you're hanging out with Superman and James Lipton, your life has gotten weird as shit.
No. And by the way, if you're hanging out with Superman pre-accident.
Yeah. No, he's still walking.
Superman post-accident, anybody can hang out with him. He's not going anywhere.
Walk up to him. Yeah, there he is. I'm hanging out with him.
Everybody can hang out with him.
He could actually walk away from him at this point.
Superman pre-accident, he's got shit to do.
He's got shit to do, and he's hanging out with this clown here. In the season, he has 52 games, 0 goals, 2 assists, 199 penalty minutes. So that is a lot for 52 games, and he's not like he's in there all the time.
199?
199.
That's 4 minutes a game. That's ridiculous.
Fighting. His fights, holy shit. Let's see here. You want to know how many fights he had that year? 23.
Holy shit.
23 fights. I have them. I saw video of 7 of them that are on video. We'll talk about those here, the ones I saw on video. On October 9th, he fights a guy named Jim Thompson. Or 19th, I'm sorry. He fights Thompson twice in the same game.
Oh.
As we see a lot happens. Thompson suffers a pretty bad shoulder injury and misses a bunch of games in these fights.
Getting thrown into the ice?
Yeah, I think he landed on the ice. October 21st, he fights Kevin Hatcher. This fight was mainly hugging.
Oh.
They just kind of got in and hugged each other. I feel like they were both going for Jersey, and neither one could get it.
Yeah.
They were just hugged, and the refs broke it up. It was pretty weak.
Those are awful.
2 days later, he fights a guy named Gord Donnelly.
Yeah.
You don't fight a guy named Gord.
No.
G-O-R-D.
Oh, it's Gord?
Gord
I thought you
Donnelly.
said Gore.
No, Gord Donnelly is his name. That sounds like a big, tough guy.
Yeah.
He fights Donnelly. Donnelly kicks his fucking ass. He beats Rudy's ass pretty good. Pulls his jersey over his head.
Oh, no.
He's beating him, hitting him, slams Rudy to the ice afterwards. I mean, Rudy's just he can't see shit.
No.
He's throwing haymakers that are hitting nothing. He's just throwing. He's just moving his arms around, trying to hit anything he possibly can. It's a pretty
That's the move in hockey, though. You pull that jersey over the head, and you've got it made in the shade. You're going to win.
That's the goal here. October 26th. This is all in a week. The fights I've just told you about.
What?
The first two fights versus Thompson were on the 19th, and the one I'm up to now is the 26th of October. So, I mean, this is the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. He's got to establish himself. This is what I do here. Yeah, I'm a rookie or second year at this point.
Right.
He fights Jeff Chikrin, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure Chikrin. It's a hockey guy. I heard the announcer, and I think that's what I remember his name too in there. Anyway, he fights Chikrin. Rudy wins here.
Really?
Lands big punches on this guy. I mean, he whoops him good.
Yeah.
Fucking lands a lot of big shots, throws him to the ground, and then skates away victoriously. Arms in the air, fucking waving to the crowd like he's Rocky and
accepting his roses.
He just beat Mr. T, and he's like, I did it, Adrian. It's fucking hilarious. Very hilarious. December 10th, he fights Jay Miller, who's a Boston Bruin. Mm-hmm. This fight I also got to watch. It's a good fight. A punch from Miller pops Rudy's helmet off.
Oh, no.
He punches him and his helmet pops off his head, which is pretty fucking hilarious. Eventually, it just breaks up due to exhaustion.
Okay.
We see these fights, the ref let them go till they kind of stop. They just punched themselves out to eventually they were just standing there and the refs just came in and they didn't fight it at all.
They're like, you're right, ref.
You're right. It's done. It's over.
We just want to go to the box.
It's funny because after a while they both look like, okay, break it up now.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
Both of us are done. You're making us look like assholes. They just have to stand there looking like they're going to throw another punch even though neither of them can and won't.
It's like the beginning of every elementary school fight. Somebody wants the first punch thrown, so they stand there begging for it, and then it never happens.
Exactly. Because you know he won't, and he knows you won't. So he fights a guy named Steve Dykstra. This was on November 23rd, before the Miller fight. This is funny because it's an even fight. Lots of punches thrown, and they're just both nailing each other. Pretty even fight. The announcer on this sounds shit-faced.
Really?
And he's like, there's a fight breaking out.
Probably is.
He calls him Randy.
Really?
And he goes, Poeschek and Dykstra, and Randy getting some good shots in. I'm like, hey, Randy skating. I'm like, that's not Randy, you dumb fuck. That's written down in front of you.
His name is Rudy.
There's like 25 guys on both teams
that's
combined.
Amazing.
Fucking memorize their names, dickhead. Jesus Christ. So January 15th, this is the funniest fight I saw here. He fights a guy named Randy Hillier of the Rangers.
Yeah.
This is he just assaults this poor guy.
Wait, of the Rangers?
I'm sorry, of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I was like, he's fighting fucking teammates?
Yeah, he turned around, socked the goalie in the mouth. Rudy just assaults this poor guy. This guy wants no part of fighting.
Really?
Nothing. He does not want to fight.
Yeah.
Rudy's coming toward him, and this guy literally is backing up, going, I don't want shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's not
putting
a fighter.
His hands up
he's
and
not
everything.
the goon.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to fight. And Rudy just throws his gloves off and starts fucking jacking him. He jacks him twice, and boom, the second shot just fucking drops him to the ground.
Really?
He's just like, grabs him by the jersey and just pop, and drops this guy. So bad that this guy didn't even get a fucking penalty for it. He just got assaulted. It was not voluntary on his part whatsoever. He still had his gloves on. He was like, shit. He didn't want to fight.
Oh, that's terrible.
This guy just said, what? Pop, I'm nailing you one. I don't like you. So that was a funny-ass fight right there. That wasn't it, though. He fought so many more guys all throughout the year. A guy named Basil McRae. He fights him twice in a game. Greg Adams, Jay Wells, Chikrin again, he fights. There's a lot of repeat fights here. Brian Curran, David Maley, Darren Kimball, Mike Hartman, Ken McRae again, Craig Berube, who we'll talk about a lot.
Okay.
And I'm going to catch myself not calling him Berube. I'm going to call him Burby.
Okay.
Because I had a friend who is spelled his name spelled the exact same way.
I'm going to keep an eye out for it.
But we call him Burby.
Okay.
And we called him Brubles the Sad Fat Clown, actually.
Jesus
it was his nickname.
Christ.
He's a very depressive guy.
Poor kid.
He wasn't fat at all.
How old was he?
He was like a year older than me, but he acted like he was 50.
Yeah.
He acted like he was an old man, and he was always very stressed out about things.
But how old were you when you
17.
were calling? Okay, so he's an adult.
Yeah, we were calling him. It's Brubles the Sad Fat Clown. He'd be like, yeah, whatever, fuck you.
Okay,
like,
that's different.
Care. And he was a hockey player, too.
Yeah, if you're 18, you can deal with that.
Oh, yeah, no, he wasn't
6,
5.
that would be brutal.
He was 18, and he was a dick. That's why we call him that. He was just kind of a grumpy guy. Love him. He was an awesome dude, but very grumpy. One of those guys I like to hang out with him just to watch him get mad at things that didn't matter because it was funny as fuck to me. Also fights Rick Tocchet that year and Dale Henry. So some big guys known for fighting. Berube, Tocchet, those guys are big fighters here. He was reckless, crazy, played rugged, looking for fights. He says, as a kid, I never pictured myself doing all this fighting. I never thought I was going to be a tough guy. I thought I'd make it as a regular defenseman.
Yeah.
I didn't mind taking a punch if I was giving one. Fighting, it was kind of a rush. You have 20,000 people cheering you on. I really didn't like it, but in some ways, you do like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine playing a sport and then all of a sudden it turns into a different sport.
That's what I love watching.
That's amazing.
I love when you're watching these fights because you'll see the YouTube. On the YouTube clips, it'll never start with and I remember from back in the day, but the clips, you'll never start with the actual fight. They're skating around for 2 seconds and the fight breaks out. So you hear around the backboards, he's coming around the top.
And we got a fight.
Up to the blue line. Oh, Rudy and Randy, as he said before. Randy and Hillier are going at, and he'll just start, and then they go in, left hand landed by him. His style, he's got to keep that, they got to keep that elbow a little higher up there. He's dropping his elbow. The jersey comes over the head. Ooh, nice shot landed on the left. And they'll literally talk about his fighting's really improved lately. I saw him fight this guy last week, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? How did this work?
Yeah.
How does this? Jesus Christ! It's a complete other sport.
How did you just turn into the guy that announces boxing? What was his name again? The one that
Larry
Ali
Merchant.
hated? The one that Ali hated.
Howard Cosell?
He loved
Howard
that's
Cosell.
The one.
They were good
that's
friends.
what it was. Yeah, he loved him.
They played around with
He just talked shit to him.
Yeah, they were
but he loved
buddies because he liked him.
Right.
So 89-90.
In personal life.
In personal life, yeah. I don't know about...
But he called him a clown and a fool. And
all that shit, yeah. 89-90, he's with the Flint Spirits of the IHL. He's sent down a little bit. They're from Flint, Michigan, obviously. They played in the IMA Sports Arena. They were part of the IHL.
Okay.
And they replaced a team that just left. They play until 1990, and then they move away to Fort Wayne, and then they end up going out of business eventually, which, of course they do.
Listen, the NHL struggles in America. How are you going to have a fucking a minor league team? Minor league, just a league at all.
It's tough. It's
not
tough.
A team.
Yeah, the hockey itself outside of 8 cities isn't the best draw.
Outside of L.A., New York, Detroit,
Pittsburgh,
Chicago.
Philly, Boston, Chicago. Your hockey cities. Your hockey cities. And I'm sure there's one or two. I think Colorado usually does pretty well.
They do okay. Minnesota does well.
Yeah, because they wanted to they took their team away, moved them to Dallas, for Christ's sake, and they were like, hey, it's freezing up here. All we give a shit about is hockey. What are you doing?
Does Nashville do well, the Predators? I wonder if they do well. I can't
hope
imagine.
Not.
No.
I fucking hope
Tampa
not.
Bay?
All those
Well,
Carolina
Tampa Bay
Hurricanes.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? No, bullshit.
Tampa Bay won the championship, so they
probably...
They might.
And Florida, too. They really need something to latch on to besides their terrible, sad... crocodile, alligator-filled lives that they have down there.
And the fucking Bucks.
And the everything, man. It's terrible down in Florida. Awful, awful place, Florida. Armpit of the world. So,
at minimum America.
At minimum America. And that's true. I've seen other places. With Flynn, he has 38 games, 8 goals, 13 assists, 109 penalty minutes. There we go. Back in the box, baby. Whew, I thought he was getting slacking in his old age here.
Thought he was going to start playing by the rules.
Come on, regular defenseman. With the Rangers that year, he plays 15 games, no goals, no assists, but 55 penalty minutes.
Jesus.
He said, "I'll still fight." Goddammit, He had 7 fights in the NHL that year. He fought Jim Kite of the Pittsburgh Penguins. He fought Craig Berube again.
You said Kite. Just making sure.
Yeah. Kyte.
That's a tough one.
KYT. Kite.
Okay.
Kite. Craig Berube, who.
Again.
Rudy's the instigator on that one. He gets that. Gerald Diduck. Ken McRae again, who he's fought like 3 times already. Mike Vukata. Jeff Chikrin again. He fights him twice.
So these are all the goons on these teams, probably, right?
They just keep fighting each
just
other.
Goon on
just
goon.
rotate. It's Jeff Chikrin again. He fights him twice in January when Chikrin's on Philly. So he's still fighting. He's getting into it here. 1990, 1991. He starts with the Binghamton Rangers, another minor league affiliate. Binghamton Rangers played in the AHL, the American Hockey League. They folded in 1997. Just so you know, keep an eye on all that kind of thing here. He had 38 games, 1 goal and 3 assists, which 38 games. I was like, that's not a lot, but 162 penalty minutes.
Wow.
That's all. I was like, 1 goal, 3 assists. Maybe he wasn't playing that much. No, he was playing.
Yeah.
Just sucking and beating the shit out of people at the same time. They're just like, just make sure that they make sure that you fight, I guess. But he doesn't like this. He doesn't like that he got sent down. He thought he did a good job up at the Rangers.
Sure.
This is when the Rangers, I believe, they started to put that team together that won in 94.
Gotcha.
So I don't know, they might have been full, basically, on that point.
They got stars. They got people that can do their job rather than just punch people.
I think so. Yeah, well, they had punch. They just had other people to punch people.
Yeah. We got people that can punch and score goals.
So we're going to do that. So, he asks for a trade, Rudy. He'd like to be traded from the organization, and they give in. They trade him to the Winnipeg Jets. So back to Canada.
Yep.
But no, you're not going to hang out with any celebrities and movie stars in Winnipeg. I fucking guarantee you that.
All your movie stars and celebrities move to America.
Yeah, well, unless these movie stars or celebrities have decided to give up their life and live a life of anonymity out in like the gas fields or something like that, in the oil business.
Gas fields.
I don't think it's happening. January 22nd, 91, he's traded by the Rangers to Winnipeg.
Okay.
He plays for the Moncton Hawks of the AHL.
Okay. So the Jets don't even want him to start. They've got him down in minor leagues, too.
Yeah, they start him off there. He plays 23 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 67 penalty minutes there. With Winnipeg, they bring him up for 1 game.
Yeah.
He's no goals, no assists, but 5 penalty minutes because he got in 1 fight. 1 game, 1 fight. May 18th, 1991 against Tim Hunter of Calgary.
All right.
So he had to fight that. 1991, he has a son. He got married a couple years before this.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of information about his first wife, so we don't know too much. But he has a son in 1991. Good for you. What does he call him? Fucking Rudy Jr.
No!
Of course his name's Rudy Jr. What show is this, Jimmy? What show are we doing right now?
Why does he do it?
This is Crime in Sports because he wants to get arrested a lot. This is the thing. And this is the first... it's like a Jenga fucking thing, and he just took the first piece out.
First plug.
He's going to move home, pull another piece out. He's going to He's got so many pieces to pull out.
Jesus.
First one's a big chunk, and it's Rudy Jr.
Damn it! Why do you do? But he does have a really cool name. Rudolph Leopold is a kick-ass name.
Not
so
bad.
it's I wouldn't be too upset with that.
Fucking Rudy Jr. Man.
That is a definite precursor to some problems.
And there's articles about like his son when he was like 4 or 5. He was in skating in some. He was in some minor kid hockey team.
Yeah.
And Rudy would go to the games, and it's like Rudy and Rudy Jr. And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, this poor kid's not going to have a fucking chance. Help him! Don't name him after you dummy. So 91-92, he's with Moncton Hawks again, same team there. 63 games, 4 goals, 18 assists, 170 penalty minutes. So he's still fighting. Gets called up to Winnipeg for 4 games. Goes up to play with the Jets, the big club there. 0 goals, 0 assists.
In 4 games?
In 4 games.
0 goals, 0 assists, and 7,000 penalty minutes.
No, he had 17 penalty minutes in 4 games. He only had 1 fight in the 4 games. I don't know if they didn't have him on the ice that much. I'm sure he was tripping and high sticking, doing all sorts of shit here. October 29th, 91, he fights John Cordic, I don't know what it is, of Quebec.
Okay.
With the French-Canadian players in the mix. You never know if it's a Cordic. Yeah. So I have no idea.
Those names are a crapshoot for sure.
That's what I'm saying. An absolute crapshoot. Gets a divorce at this point. After his son was born, he gets a divorce about a year later. His professional life sucks. He's in the minors, but at least his personal life is just as big of a fucking disaster. Good for him. July 8th, 92, he's a free agent now. So he's just got divorced. He's a free agent. He signs as a free agent.
Likes to have his career and his personal life in the same toilet.
In shambles. Yeah, you really want to have it in shambles. Toilet. Hey, I'm on a team. Good. Let's have a kid. I'll name him after myself. Everything's great. Fuck it. Right in the toilet. Flush that bad boy
Divorce
down.
and my career sucks.
Let's do it. So July 8th of 92, signs as a free agent with Toronto.
Okay.
The Maple Leafs. 92-93, he plays with the St. John's Maple Leafs of the AHL, who we've actually heard of before and dealt with before.
Why did we have them?
I think Steve Durbano played for them. Okay. I'm pretty sure. I know he played for Marlborough, and I think he played for St. John's as well.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but check it out. Steve Durbano, I think episode like 14, 15, something like that.
Somebody fucking hated us because there was some hockey thing that posted about him being like in the Ring of Honor or some shit. I forget what the article was.
He's a crazy fuck.
Somebody commented and fucking tagged us in the
don't do that. Jesus
and we're like, that guy's a piece of shit. Listen to this episode of Crime and Sports. And the guy was like, he's come around. He's a better guy now. And he's like, well, I don't know. He tried to hire somebody to kill somebody.
He tried to sell women also is the other thing. And Tim Hortons, for Christ's sake.
Right.
That's not kosher.
The guy's like, he's figured out his life. He's a good man. And we know him
good
personally.
Now.
Right.
Yeah, he's good now. Don't worry about it.
Give it time.
Exactly. Don't worry about it, honey. It'll pick back up.
Yeah.
So he's signed by Toronto. He's playing for the St. John's Maple Leafs. For them that year, he has 78 games, 7 goals, 24 assists.
It's good.
So coming back, 189 penalty minutes. Also doing that well. He does not play in the NHL at all in 92-93. Nobody even brings him up for a sniff.
Yeah.
He's a free agent. Apparently Toronto signed him. Wasn't that all that excited with him with his minor league play. They ship him off to release him. He's a free agent. He's signed by Tampa Bay, who's a newer expansion team recently. So
the Lightning.
They need players, and they need an enforcer. Sure. That's the thing. If you already have an enforcer on your team, you don't need a second guy.
Sure.
But you need this. If you don't have any, you need somebody. And as we've seen, expansion teams in all sports will grab for any fucking low-hanging fruit they can get. He'll sign here? Great. We'll take him. We don't care because nobody wants to play with expansion teams. So he's with Tampa for 93-94. He has 71 games total, 3 goals, 6 assists, 118 penalty minutes.
Jesus
Not
Christ.
bad at all. 16 fights.
Wow.
16
Stacking
fights.
them up.
Fights. Paul Laus, Stefane. His name is Stefane. It's Stephanie without an I.
Really?
Is what it is, how it's spelled. Yeah,
it's probably Stephanie.
I assume he's French. Quintal, so I'm assuming he's French. Greg Smith, with a Y instead of an I. Smythe, who the fuck knows? These fucking names. You think shout-outs are bad. Try pronouncing goddamn hockey names.
Yeah, that's fuck. I don't envy you for this part. This part really sucks.
Caprios, I think. Kypreos.
What?
Caprios, I'm going to go with.
That's awful.
Mark Tenorti, Darren Kimball again, Jim Cummins, Bill Horde, Brad May, Todd Ewan, Dave Brown, Bob Probert, who we'll talk about a lot. We've talked about Bob Probert in every fucking hockey episode because he's fought everybody multiple times and then had brain damage and died of a heart attack at a young age. He's a fucking mess, Bob Probert. We'll talk about him, actually. We'll do an episode on him one of these days. Lots of guys. Scott Pearson, Randy McKay. It
sounds like what he's doing here is kind of like a theory that I would have. If I was a professional athlete going to an expansion team, you make a name for yourself right away. You can be the hero of the town if you're like the best at something on that team.
And the enforcer is the beloved guy.
Yeah.
There's the guy who scores all the goals. He's the most beloved, obviously. And then there's the fucking guy who fights all the time. They love him.
And you try your ass off to be that guy.
The enforcers are always the second most beloved guy on the team for the most part, unless they're dicks. But for the most part, they love that. That's the guy who's willing to go out and take a punch in the face for your team. So
and that's also a guy,
guy.
You got a 0-0 game in the third period. Somebody at least fucking fight.
That's the other thing. It's always entertaining.
Right.
Whether a game is boring or not, if a fight breaks out, that's entertainment.
At least
anyway.
we got something.
I saw a couple of these fights. They had the videos available. The November 20th against Kimball there. It's a great brawl, actually. It's a wild brawl. They keep fighting and fighting and fighting. In the end, there's like a half a second pause and the refs come in, and then they try to keep fighting. So they're throwing punches around the ref. This fucking Kimball's like throwing huge punches around the ref trying to hit Rudy. It's
awesome.
Really entertaining fight. I enjoyed it. February 2nd versus Probert. Great brawl versus Probert, man. He's getting better as a fighter, Rudy, I will say. From here to watching these and watching like the ones from 89, 90, he's really getting better as a fighter. Probert's fucking big. Yeah. And Probert looks a lot bigger than him on the ice, too.
He's a Red Wing, right? Probert?
Yeah.
And he fought Durbano and he fought our other guy, too, right?
He fought Cote.
He fought
him. I think Danton and him got in. No, Danton didn't get it. Yes, he might have gotten into it. I don't remember if it was
Danton
Danton
might have been the guy that was on that was on
St. Louis.
Facebook.
He was on.
That may have been Mike Dan.
Oh, it was Mike Dan.
I think it was.
Yeah,
he was the one that tried to hire.
Mike Dan's the guy who we actually felt bad for, though.
A little bit. Yeah,
he had. There was some circumstances where we were like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're a douche, but I kind of get it too at the same time.
Frost was. Yeah, it was Dan, because Frost was his manager that also was kind of like
it was
flirty
Spencer
with him.
that fought too with him a lot. I think
Really?
with Probert, Brian Spencer. Remember? Yeah,
that
he was
the
fighting
one
all the time
because we had Probert being like a fucking rapist almost.
Yeah. That was about Probert was
a hairy all
rapist,
over his body and bald on his head.
Hey everybody, Bob Probert's a rapist. Okay. That's not true at all. I don't know. He might have been. He's dead anyway. It doesn't fucking matter. But still. So anyway, Probert wins this fight in the end, but fucking big heart on Rudy, man.
Yeah.
He goes at him. That's a tough son of a bitch, and he does not take any guff from him whatsoever. Gets right in there. Off season comes around. He's feeling fucking good about himself, man. He's now signed to a team. He just played all year up in the NHL. No minor league bullshit.
Yeah.
He's on the team. I mean, it's in Tampa, so whatever, but it's better than, I don't know, maybe he likes that better than the cold
Probably.
of British Columbia. I don't know.
I think if you're raised in one environment and you go to the other, you love it.
You might love it
because it's change.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, he might enjoy it. In the off season, he meets a woman named Heather
in Tampa.
Oh no! At a bar.
Of course, her name's
Heather. Who's
going
to be his second wife?
Yes.
He meets a woman named Heather in Tampa at a bar. That tells you right
there. That's problems.
Right there. Guarantees. And I'm only going to say this because it was back then when it was rare. Now it's all over. She had tattoos on her boobs.
Of course she did.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
Which fine. Now
I'm
all
into
the time.
Listen.
In 1995, that was considered aberrant behavior. You know what I mean? That was considered, what truck stop do you work at? When did you quit stripping?
Right.
That's what we would say at that point. So
how far into recovery are you? That's the question.
You cleaned up now, or what are we doing? What step are you on?
Do you have?
Never mind how far into. Just what step are you on? You'll be back to one soon.
Did they give you custody of your kid yet?
No. Are you allowed to see them at all, even on the weekends?
Is the supervisor?
Great. That's great. Oh, at your ex-mother-in-law's house. Perfect. That's great. That's
have
classy.
To do the handoff in public.
That's classy. Very classy. We have an in their own words about meeting his wife.
She had a broken heel too.
Oh, you know it. You know it. Yeah, he helped her out. He fashioned something.
Puke in her hair and everything.
You know it. He was like, "That's the one for me."
That's my girl.
Well, let's find out what he thought about it. Let's find out with it in their own words.
Oh, this poor girl. We are ruining her.
I'm telling you, in their own words. Quote. We met at a bar in the off-season. She didn't know who I was, which was good. I would visit these middle school kids, and it was like a reading challenge. If they accomplished the reading challenge, then they would get to have pizza with Poeschek. It was nice to be down there. It was great wearing shorts and flip-flops to practice. You get on a flight, and you've got to remember to bring your overcoat.
Yeah.
So that's what he's feeling at Tampa. He meets some broad named Heather with a tattoo on her boob that he's very excited about. He's doing things like the kids love him.
Yeah.
And he does this.
They're getting pizza with Poeschek. That's incredible.
They do this. It's reading with Rudy is what it is. They do reading with Rudy.
That's awesome.
And the kids who read the most get to have pizza with Poeschek, where he comes in and they all have a pizza lunch and he hangs out with the kids. And by everything everybody said, and by what he said and everything, he seems to be really good with kids.
Yeah.
Kids like him. He likes kids. He's good around them. Yeah. Not so much later on, as we'll talk about. There's a little criminal problem with that. But at the moment, super nice to kids, I guess.
In Phoenix, it would have been broads with Barkley, because that dude was a womanizing son of a bitch.
Oh, God, everywhere, man. All over the place. So 94-95, he has a pretty bad thumb injury and doesn't play a good portion of the year. Hurts his thumb, I assume, in a fucking fight, probably, or something like that. That's the other thing, too. Does this guy practice hockey?
Yeah, how do
does he go? It's hockey. It's practice time. Everybody else gets their skates and goes on the ice, and he's taping his hands up. He's like, all right, time to hit the heavy bag. Like maybe he just does that on skates. Yeah. They got a guy with the focus mitts going back while he skates at him, punching while everyone else is shooting pucks and shit,
awesome.
Passing. He's like, I don't need any of that shit. Just
I'd watch
put
that
the mitts
practice.
Up, coach.
That'd be a practice. That would be fun to watch.
Great practice. I always wondered that though. How would they get good at fighting all the time? They must practice. It takes practice. So he plays in 25 games that year for Tampa Bay with the injury there. 1 goal, 1 assist, 92 penalty minutes, though.
Jesus.
Still cooking on the penalty minutes. He doesn't give a shit. 8 fights that year. Fights Francois Leroux.
I'm sure that was a tough fight.
He's sounds like a Frenchman there.
Yeah.
He fights Rob Ray. He fights Brent Severin, Paul Louse, Dale Hunter. What ended up happening here with the Hunter one, Hunter high-sticked on him and got a major for that, for high sticking. And then Rudy came over and fucking just basically had an involuntary fight with him over that. Hunter didn't get a fighting major for it because he was just basically attacked.
But he got high sticking.
He got high sticking, though. He got that. Kelly Chase, he fights. Sean Antosky. Paul Laus again. Got to close out the season with fighting the same guy. Like I said, the broken thumb really took a lot of his time, but he still managed to get in the penalty box for 92 minutes. Good for you, Rudy. 95-96. He's with Tampa Bay again. 57 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 88 penalty minutes. 10 fights.
Heather's making a teddy bear out of him.
Oh, Jesus, she's loving it. Yeah,
she's trimming down the penalty minutes.
He's down to 10 fights a year, this guy. I mean, Christ almighty. Next thing you know, he's just going to be fucking...
hugging guys.
He's just going to be hugging people. He's going to have flowers in his helmet. He's just going to be like, hey, guys, calm down. Everybody be cool.
Listen, it's all love, you guys.
He'll turn into the voice of reason. It's going to be great. He fights Chris Tamer. He fights Marty McSorley in November 95, and I couldn't find the video for this, and I'd fucking love to watch a fight between Rudy and Marty McSorley. I loved Marty McSorley.
He's a tough dude.
We had the problem with Brashear and the whole thing. We get that. That's turned out bad for him. Fuck, was he great to watch, man. God damn it, would he fight anybody, anytime. He was so much fun to watch. Mike Peluso, Brad May again, Sean Antosky again, Paul Laus again. Fighting this Adam Graves, Jay Wells again. Alec Stoyanov. Stoyanov.
Sounds good to me.
He's a Russian guy. And then Tony Twist, who we've also talked about a lot because he fights fucking constantly.
That's a great name.
That's a great name, Tony Twist. It really is.
Was Peluso P-E-L? Was that?
Yes, Peluso.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's related to my friend.
There's a lot of Pelusos, trust me.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's a very popular Italian
name. I've never heard
Peluso.
of it.
Really?
I'd never heard it until I met Jess.
I know a lot of Peluso. Where are you from? Colorado and Arizona? Trust me, I've known a few Pelusos in my day.
You're like the fourth Italian I've ever met.
We all eat spaghetti all the time. What you doing?
You meatball having motherfuckers.
That's right, goddammit. So April 27th, 1996. This game here, the Flyers GM, they play Philadelphia. The Flyers GM, Bob Clark, who's an ex-player, I think he's an ex-player, if I'm not mistaken, accuses the coach, Tampa's coach, of putting Rudy in only to go after Eric concussions while shaving Lindros. You got to get him a real smooth blade. If it's not smooth, he'll get a concussion. He will. He'll get a concussion.
Here's the thing. We already knew that, Coach. How come you didn't know that? But how do you not know that?
He was pissed because Lindros didn't want to fight. He just wanted to skate around, try to score, and most of all, not get a concussion for 5 fucking minutes. To know where he is at all times for 10 minutes would be great for Lindros. Clark said, quote, I thought the league had passed the stage where players were used to deliberately hurt other players.
Not yet.
I guess we haven't gotten past that yet. No. Apparently not. Not in 1996 anyway. In the playoffs, they make the playoffs that year.
Oh.
Not bad. 3 playoff games. No point, no goals, no assists, no points.
They lost the first round.
12 penalty minutes, though. May 25th, 1996. This is after the season now, or during the end of the season. Rudy will sign autographs. He does all these autograph signings now. Everybody loves him because now the team was good, so they got popular in Tampa. Now he's the guy who fights all the time on a popular team, so they love him so much. He's doing the reading with Rudy and pizza with Poeschek.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party. So
yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
He signs autographs on May 5th, 1996, and I thought this was funny, and gives a presentation on safety equipment.
He did what?
What the fuck is he doing giving a safety presentation? This is safety equipment. Put it on. If someone punches you in the face, it won't matter what equipment you're wearing because your face is still
You ever catch an uppercut? The fucking safety equipment comes right off.
Helmet pops right off. Let me show you folks a video of a guy I fought a couple of years ago. Watch my helmet pop off now.
Unbelievable.
Good concussion there, and he gets a lot of concussions.
Does he?
We're going to talk about. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll get into that. Don't you worry. So he's signing autographs. He's on a playoff team.
Yeah.
He's popular. He's reading with Rudy. He's got he found Heather, who's got a tattoo-boobed, nice Hooters waitress, ex-Hooters waitress that he's going to take up and bring with him.
He doesn't allow her to wear 2 heels ever.
No.
She's got one that's broken at all times.
Signing autographs, giving presentations on safety equipment. He's got Rudy Jr. God damn it, let's say it now. This is Grace.
Is it?
This is Grace. Grace. Let's just say it right now. Shit starts to go awry from here.
Oh boy.
And we'll talk about why here. You wouldn't think so, but under the surface, this is where it starts to fall apart.
Okay.
96, 97, he plays for Tampa Bay again. 60 games, no goals, 6 assists, 120 penalty minutes.
Holy shit.
So he's got that going well. Lots of fights again. Rob Ray, Mark LaBelle, Rob DeMeo, Ken Belanger, I guess. Bill Howard, Craig Berube. Okay. Here's the one with Berube here. This is a tough one. It's a crazy fight. I mean, if you want to watch a fight, it's a good fight. But what ends up happening is the linemen, the refs, they're busy with 2 other guys getting into it here.
Sure.
So these guys that's the other thing too. It's like prison because when they see the refs like doing something else, that's when they fight.
Of course.
And they know they have an agreement. Yeah. Like we're fighting next time the refs aren't close to us. We're fucking fighting.
When they're distracted, I'm going to fuck you up.
That's why you'll see guys drop the gloves at the same time and just start fighting. It's an agreement.
They've already made the choice.
They know when it's open. They look at each other like little kids, like now's our chance. And then they fucking fight. Like it's something they're doing together.
Right.
They should team up and be friends. They're working this out. But instead, we get to watch them fight.
Right.
So they are absolutely both laying right hands onto each other.
Okay.
It's fucking they're blasting each other in the head. I mean, just right hands to the head.
Handful of jersey and right hand coming.
Pow, 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 just popping each other. It's really, really crazy. They're starting to spin a little bit on the ice. Yep. Rudy loses his helmet, which is a tough thing always. They tie up. Berube throws a bunch more punches. 3 out of 4 of them land. One really lands solid, and then Berube wrestles Rudy down on the ground toward the boards. Now, when the refs come over to break him up after that, you see Rudy throw a haymaker back at Probert again, like he's trying to fight him still because he was trying to get up. As Berube skates off, he's bloody as shit.
You meant Berube.
Berube skates off.
Right.
No, Poeschek threw the punch from the ground. He got thrown to the ground.
You said Probert.
I'm sorry, Probert.
So, that hairy rapist.
Damn it. Poeschek Probert.
Okay.
He's raping. So anyway, he throws a punch up there.
Yep.
As Berube skates off, you can see he's bloody. He's got blood around his mouth. Rudy's bloody too. It's a pretty wild fight, I will say. Now, looked great. Everybody was happy, but the problem was he wasn't okay after this fight, Rudy. And after a lot of fights, we'll find out exactly when these fights were and what happened.
Okay.
But wanted to make the fights fun, and then we'll talk about the consequences of them here.
In case you're letting your kids play hockey, here's some some interesting information.
They each get hit 6 to 8 times in the head at full blast in a matter of seconds. They're just bare fist blasting each other in the fucking head. He says, quote, Rudy says about this, quote, I think I remember the white light happening twice in that fight. Twice.
What?
Twice. He said, but you watch the video of that fight now, and you can't tell that I missed a beat because he was used to it.
Yeah.
He went out twice. Twice he went out.
Unbelievable.
In one fight, Got right back in it, started taking more blows to the head.
Wow.
How dangerous
that
is that?
white light, when you get hit and you see that.
Not good.
No.
Your brain is telling you some shit right there.
It's saying, oh, that was a bad one.
That was a fucking bad one. Twice
we
in
need
one
ice.
fight. Twice in a matter of 15 seconds.
Unbelievable.
That is terrible. Now, that fight was at February 14th, 1997. Very romantic Valentine's Day for them. February the 15th, the next day, he's doing pizza with Rudy.
Oh, my God.
He's doing pizza with Poeschek at that point.
He's drooling all over the pizza.
Unbelievable. He's reading with kids, eating pizza, trying to act like everything's fine. You know his head hurts. You know his bell got rung.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not good at all for him.
Luckily, it's an easy book.
I guess so, man. That's all he can do. He fights more that year, too. Jesus. He's fighting February 22nd. That's a week later. He's in another fight against Reed Simpson. The 23rd, he fights Dodie Wood. The March 8th, he fights another guy. It's fucking ridiculous. April 5th, he fights again.
Wow.
I mean, dude, that's not enough time to heal after getting 2 good concussions in a row like that. That's insane.
With no gloves, and you're not trained in like the defense. And in this,
and he didn't have his helmet on.
There is no defense.
No.
It's just throwing.
It's offense.
These
guys aren't blocking punches.
They're just
grab the guy's
blows.
jersey and you throw blows until you hurt that guy before he hurts
and
you.
And the majority of guys are right-handed. And when you lock up with your left and you're throwing rights, like. He's throwing over your left arm, and you're throwing over his left arm.
It's just allowing punches.
Who submits
and you have
or
to
knocks out
hold
first.
each other up. Otherwise, you're going to fall down if you're throwing those kind of punches.
This is the craziest fight.
It's crazy. So July 31st, 97, he signs as a free agent with the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
And this is where it really fucking fell apart.
Okay.
Bad. He says, quote, I was there. I was playing the best hockey of my career. Then I got hit funny, and my back started feeling a little bit funny. He said he kept playing.
Oh, God.
10 days later, though, he gets in a fight with Darren McCarty, and he said something felt very wrong. He said, quote, when I was sitting in the penalty box, I was like, this doesn't feel very good. When the penalty is over, I went straight to the dressing room. He kept playing, though. Kept playing with the bad back. His back was completely screwed.
Yeah.
He said the doctors didn't want to hesitate, didn't want to operate on him at that point.
Yeah.
They said, take a few days, see how it feels. They said, come back Monday and we'll see. He said, it was Sunday and I was cooking and I just bent down to get a pan or a dish, and as soon as I stood up, my disc just blew apart.
Oh, no.
So that's rough. That is super nasty.
You don't want spine injuries.
No, and he's having surgery immediately after that. The next day, Monday morning, he's having surgery.
And from here on, his life is fucked up.
Well, yeah, because what do you do for pain for those, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. You get on painkillers,
so good.
and then you...
Yeah, and then you can't get off them.
No,
because you can't function without them.
This is part of the problem with him. Not all the problem, but part of the problem. 97-98 with St. Louis, 50 games, only 64 penalty minutes that year. He's slacking off. Only 8 fights.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Rudy? Come on. 1 goal, 7 assists. Trying to save his brain, for Christ's sake. Fights a lot of the usual suspects. He fights Sandy McCarthy at one point, and this guy drills him with a fucking left right in the back of the head.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's brutal, man. Hits him in the back of the head. He falls over. Poeschek grabs him to not fall over. They both tumble to the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, man. This is a lot. This is just a lot of fighting. It's too much, man.
Yeah.
So he was on the operating table. He said, up until that point, I'd played every game in St. Louis. I was getting quite a bit of ice time. I ended up getting back that year playing the last few regular season games, but it wasn't the same.
No.
2 games in the playoffs. He only has 6 penalty minutes, no goals, no assists.
Yeah.
88-89 with St. Louis. Only plays in 16 games.
Oh, no.
No goals, no assists, 33 penalty minutes. So not that great. 5 fights.
Yeah.
You know who he fights November 14th, 1998?
Who's that?
Patrick Cote.
Oh, really?
Episode 63, I think, who was a maniac and had a crazy fucking story. Listen to that one. That's a wild one.
What was the heist that he pulled off? Didn't he pull off a heist?
Yeah, he had a big heist, and then he got shot in prison.
That's right.
He was crazy. He
Ridiculous.
had a bunch of crazy shit. Twice. He's nuts. Fucking nuts. He fights Jeff Odgers. Then he fights Jeff Odgers like a month later.
Yeah.
He fights 2 different guys in the same game.
Jesus.
Usually they fight the same guy. He fights Odgers and Scott Parker of Colorado on December 5th, 98, which is insane. Fights Donald Brashear, January 28th, 1999. So it's not going terrific. That's why I said it was grace, because it's starting to go downhill. He was still at the pinnacle, but it's not going to last for long. And it's really, he's on a mad tear for
He's
got a greased up toboggan going down right now, just flying like Clark Griswold and Christmas Vacation. 99-2000 with St. Louis, plays in 12 games only, 0 points, 0 assists, 24 penalty minutes.
Jesus.
So not doing a lot. Fights 2 guys. Very nice. This is sweet here. He has a reunion. Okay. He fights Stu Grimson on March 11th, 2000. These guys have been fighting for 15 fucking years since they were kids.
Is this their swan song?
I feel like they would like fake it. They'd be like, hey, dude, what's up, man? Dude, I haven't seen you in so fuck. They'd be like holding each other, like throwing little rapid punches. Like, dude, I know, man. How's the wife? She good? That's good, man. I saw pictures of your kids.
How's Heather?
Your kids look super cute. How's Heather? She still got that tattoo on her boob? Because, man, no one could shake her ass to warrant cherry pie like her. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. That's your wife. My bad. You know, she was a Tampa stripper,
very
obviously.
Nice of me.
That's not nice of me. So, yeah, he fights Ryan Vandenbush, I guess, on April 7th, 2000. So not a lot of fights. April 28th, 1999, he's assigned to Worcester. So he's shit canned from the St. Louis. They send him to the minors, the Worcester Ice Cats of the AHL. Not terrific here.
Worcester,
they played in Worcester, Mass,
right?
at the Worcester Centrum. And they folded in 2005, by the way, just to let you know.
Of course they did.
He plays in 5 games for them, only has 4 penalty minutes. And what they end up doing, no goals, no assists. He's not going to have any at this point. What they end up doing is they loan him to an IHL team. Okay. Like they just loan him out. They're like, you can have him if you want him. So
take this bad back.
Take this fucking guy off our hands, please. I don't know. He's got headaches all the time. Right. He's bad back. He's got problems.
You're gonna have to help him spell his name.
That's a problem. So work on that. You better get it right on the back of his jersey because he won't correct you. November 11th, 99 is when this happens. They loan him to the Houston Aeros of the IHL from St. Louis. Houston Aeros they were the Iowa Wild after that, which is terrible. They played in Houston at the Toyota Center, and they folded in 2013.
You bet.
You know they would. He plays 32 games there.
You think that shit's just like a money laundering front or something? It's got to be, right?
It's probably just people that can take losses.
Yeah, they need to take a loss for tax purposes.
Yeah, or it's like, I don't know, like a vanity project for somebody. Like Bret the Hitman Hart had a minor league hockey team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back in the day, like it was kind of one of those type of
Bon
deals.
Jovi's fucking arena team. It's like that, right? He needs it to
feel like that. Yeah.
He needs to write something off and so that he can write off the loss. So that
he needs something.
Not pay so much money on the income that he's making.
Exactly. So he can have some of that wanted dead or alive royalties to don't have to pay so much out of it. That's good. Good for him.
Buy an extra fucking Mercedes this year.
No shit. So 32, move out of New Jersey. That's an idea. 32. That's something I would do if I had a bunch of money.
Moving on, and then he'd fucking spin around and punch him in the jaw.
Hold on a second. Wait a second, John. Get that in.
We were rope-a-doping him for a minute, and you're like, it's enough, Jimmy. He's had enough. And then he'd turn around and smack him again.
He hasn't had enough. He needs more. I'll hit him right off.
Maybe move out of New Jersey, you fucking jerk.
That'll do it, God damn it.
It's gorgeous.
You know it's there, man. So, Houston Aeros.
Oh, my God, that was amazing.
Houston Aeros stats now. 2 goals, 6 assists in 32 games for 51 penalty minutes there with the Houston Aeros. That is the end of his NHL career.
Oh, no.
He'll never play in the NHL again. Well, he'll cup of coffee, but not in the regular season. So we'll get to talk about that in a second.
Okay.
364 NHL games, 6 goals, 25 assists, 917 penalty minutes.
Wow.
Not bad. And over his 14-year career, he estimates he had at least 15 concussions.
Yeah.
That's a shitload of concussions. That's a lot. He said, quote, my mentality as a player was I was going to be fine.
Jesus.
Hockey has an especially tough guy, especially like the fighter guys. There's it's a next level tough guy shit where they're just like, well, fuck that. Yeah. So what? I lose 5 teeth. I'll be out on the ice in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's a famous thing on SportsCenter. They'd show a guy all injured and they'd show him playing again.
Yeah.
A minute later, they're like, but he's a hockey player. He got stitched up. He got back out there. That's how they are. Like, so it's crazy. Like they used to call each other. Like there was this article I was reading about one player got in a fight with another player and the guy got his head crunched into the boards real good and didn't know where the fuck he was.
Yeah.
And he said this was the other player who crunched his head into the board, said he was watching him and the trainer came over and was trying to help him. And he said, as I went by, I said, fucking pussy. Like he said, that's what I thought. And then later on, he has CTE.
Holy
and he's a
Christ.
fucking, not the guy with the guy who did the smashing.
Right.
And he's like, I was calling people a pussy and I was doing it to myself and others. And that was just the mentality of it. He's like, that's how we were raised. That's how we were. You get in there. You get out there. You be tough. That's what the fans like. That's what everybody is. Now, 2000, 2001, he wants to keep playing. Rudy does, but he says he's seen by other teams as damaged goods.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Because you are.
Your skill level has declined, you're getting older, and your brain is getting mushy. Right. So he said, quote, so then nobody wants you because you didn't play much the last couple of years. I knew I could still play, but I guess nobody wanted to take a chance on me. Mm-hmm. One team takes a chance on him.
Who are they?
San Jose Sharks.
Okay.
They take a chance on him. They sign him in the preseason. He has one fight for them in the preseason. On September 15th, 2000, he fights Louis DeBrusque of Arizona.
What year is this?
This is 2000, September 2000.
Okay.
He is one of the last cuts of training camp, does not make the Sharks.
Oh, well, at least he
sticks around, but he does not make the Sharks. Goes back down and plays with the Houston Aeros for the rest of the season. 67 games, 3 goals, 13 assists, 66 penalty minutes. This is the first time in his career I think he's had less penalty minutes than games played.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So he's starting to not be the same kind of guy. This is the total from one of the dropyourgloves.com or one of those hockey fight sites.
Sure.
In his career, they counted fight-wise 128 fights in the NHL.
Holy shit.
128 bare-fisted fights. I mean, not all of them you take blows.
Yeah,
Some of them he didn't take blows. Some of them are just hugging or whatever. But 128 fights. In the minors, 151 fights.
So you combine those?
This man fought 279 times.
My Christ.
Name an MMA guy we've done that's fought 279 times.
None.
Boxer fought nobody. 279 fucking times.
That's bananas.
How many times has he been hit in the fucking head?
If he took 5 punches to the head per time.
One. That's 279 blows to the head.
Hard ones.
But bare-fisted.
Hard ones.
Fuck, man. Imagine getting hit in the head 279
no
times.
Thanks.
How many times have you been hit in the head in your life?
I mean...
20?
30? More, maybe?
Not 100.
Not 279
punches. That's
a
lot. Jesus Christ, man. That's horrible. So he's got problems, too. And he says so. He describes his post-hockey life as, quote, disappointment.
Probably, you know what? Probably 20.
That's a good, seems like a normal number. You get punched, you fall down, you hit something, you crash.
Like a good fight with, I don't know, a younger dude. When you're younger and you get in a good fight, you probably catch 5.
You don't care.
You catch 5 solid ones and you quit.
Yeah, you don't notice them.
I've probably had maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 of those.
Yeah.
So, I don't know,
you
20 to 40, somewhere in there.
It's not, 279.
But not professional athlete, 6'2".
Yeah, and all that. He's probably been hit 1,000 times in the head. Jesus. I mean, that's insanity. And boxers do it all the time.
From big fucking guys.
Yeah, not bare-fisted. Right. He's hit his head on ice. He's done all that sort of thing. He describes it as disappointment, his post-hockey life. That's what he says. One word, disappointment. He's living in Tampa. Mm-hmm. It's his wife's hometown there, Heather, obviously. Heather from Tampa. And they love him there. So he's like, I guess I'll stick here. He starts working as a mortgage broker.
Oh, boy.
Imagine this guy.
I want a guy with brain damage doing my mortgage.
I want a guy with 280 fights doing my mortgage. So you're the guy on Tampa. Well, I would think it was like... He thinks that his name is helping him there, but I'm not buying a mortgage from a guy I've seen obviously has a pudding brain. I'm not buying fucking mortgages from him. I'm going to find out he screwed something up and they're going to repossess my house in 6 months. No.
How many teeth is he missing at this point?
Oh my God, they get him just stuck in there. But while he's working as a mortgage broker, he's doing some kind of yard work or something, and he tweaks his back and starts hitting the pain pills hard.
Oh, you bet.
They prescribe him pain pills and flared up his old injury, and he is all in on the pain pills from here on out. All in on the pain pills, and I can understand he probably has a lot of pain from hockey,
not
from
just
everything
pain,
else, and back pain.
The nerve damage
it's
alone.
Probably wild, man. So...
He probably can't even feel his fucking legs.
That's probably not. Well, let's get it in their own words here about this whole time here. In their own words. Quote, I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was trying to figure out how to be happy. Just the way hockey went, the disappointment of getting injured, I just didn't know what to do. I wanted to be happy. I had a wife and a daughter. She was 2 or 3. I noticed the painkillers helped everything, not just my back. So I got addicted to pain pills.
Oh, no.
Even while I was writing mortgages, I took Percocet to get rid of the headaches.
Shit.
Headaches from shitloads of concussions.
Percocet for headaches.
Headaches.
That's
what
nasty
he's taking
headache.
to work. Yeah, that's the level he has got to go to for that, to make that work for him. In 2002, February 24th, he participates in the Lightning Alumni Experience, which is the Tampa Bay Lightning thing. This is where Whoa. 6 teams of, quote, moderately skilled players participate in a round-robin tournament.
Right.
Hopefully he didn't beat the shit out of some poor guy who works in a bank. Let's just say that. It was like, hey, I'm going to go skating this weekend, and Rudy's fucking pummeling him against the boards. It's like, Jesus Christ. He's poor like Hillier there.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight. You're fighting, motherfucker.
Rudy's on the home mortgage side, and the personal banker's getting the fuck beat out of him.
He's getting the shit. He's like, dude, fuck, man.
See you at work on Monday, Rudy. Jesus, thanks, pal.
2002, after that, he gets he visited with Tampa. That's a Tampa Bay thing. He attempts a comeback with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2002. No. Does not get very far.
No.
I don't even think he played in any preseason games.
Really?
He says that he downward spiral from there. He then, Jesus, as if the shit isn't going bad enough for him,
right?
As if it's not horrible enough, he loses most of his life savings in the stock market at this point.
Pete, that fucking stock market crash.
No.
This
was 2002, that one. So it was when the economy was really kind of tanking
after 9/11.
Yeah. And a lot of people lost a shitload. And this guy, he was trying. He was like working in a bank, and he was trying to invest. Like, these are the things that people tell you to do.
Right.
Don't just put your money in the bank.
It's all the safe stuff.
Be smart.
Right.
Get stocks. And especially back then, after the 90s, fucking stocks went crazy. You were an idiot if you didn't own a shitload of stocks. So he said, okay, he did it.
But a guy like him, he's like, who the fuck's Al-Qaeda? I haven't got a clue what that is.
What's going on here? I don't remember my own name. Never mind them. He says, quote, I just got stressed out from financially, pissed off at the world because I thought I did all the right things, putting my money in mutual funds.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He was like, what the fuck, man?
Safe stuff.
He said, quote, but I was overloaded on the NASDAQ and lost probably 70% of my portfolio.
Ouch.
It was just a kick in the teeth. These things add up. No fucking
nice
shit.
Nice that he mentions his teeth.
Yeah, kicking my gums. Now, how badly does this start to slide from here? How much of a fuck up? Well, let's find out. Over the next 2.5 years in Florida, he will be arrested 7 times. 7 fucking times in 2.5 years.
My Christ.
Complete unraveling. Gets arrested for DUIs.
Oh, no.
Gets arrested for domestic abuse.
Oh, Jesus.
Gets arrested for giving false information to obtain a prescription.
Jesus.
He's that. He's
that far in.
He's that far where he's doing that.
He's shopping doctors and
child
when he can't
abuse.
No.
A child abuse charge. Now, these, I don't know what the hell kind of silver-haired middle-aged white man he has down there in Tampa, or how easy it is to control the media down there, but wow, do they fucking hide these arrests?
Really?
I had to dig so hard just to get what they were. Never mind the details of these 7 arrests. They're fucking impossible. They're impossible. I know January 2003, he was arrested for charges of child abuse and false imprisonment.
Fuck.
So that was probably, you're not going anywhere, and the kid's not either, I assume, or something like that. Like I said, DUI, domestic abuse. The painkiller thing was April of 2003. Using
I see that domestic abuse one happening. I can see it in my head. She's saying, don't take those. Stop taking the pills.
Or
You're
she's
an
just
asshole.
being normal, and he doesn't. His head's fucked up, and he doesn't know. She might have said, "What's for dinner?" Or do you want pork chops? And he might have punched her in the face.
He's like, I don't have any Percocet. What do you want for dinner?
Or she said, "You want any pork chops?" And he said, "Fuck you, Craig Berube," and started punching her. She's like, "What the hell are you talking
about? I'd rather have a pot pie."
Fuck you, Beruble's the fat sack clown. So he.
Unbelievable.
That sounds like a fat sad clown.
It does.
Is it Barubles? It really does. So anyway,
the tear on his face.
That's the frowny face clown. So he's arrested a shitload on this. The bogus information to get prescription painkillers is really
that's the sad one.
That's tough.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Most of the arrests after that, besides those, are all driving related.
Really?
He never has a license. From this point on, his license is suspended because he missed a child support payment to his first wife, so they suspended his license under Florida law.
Right.
He has no fucking license forever, and he never stops driving, and now it starts to get interesting.
So now he's in that cycle where he's broke, he needs money, but the money that he makes has to pay off old debts, and there's no way he's paying those because he has to survive. So now the child support for juniors not getting paid.
Exactly.
The fines aren't getting paid for the license. He's not getting his driver's license back.
Nope.
Every time he's arrested, it suspends that license further.
Oh, it's revoked. It's beyond suspended.
Gone.
It's revoked.
It's over.
They called him a habitual offender. He's now
shit.
at the point where they don't even want him in a car. Like, just fucking walk places, dude. You're not even
You're
going to
riding
bus pass.
Bus, fuckface.
Here's a bicycle. Knock yourself out, dickhead.
And now back to the show.
So March 2nd, 2005, he's arrested for driving on a revoked license. Now, March 13th, 2005, this shit comes to a head.
Really?
Whoa. He takes his 1998 Lexus SUV. He's got a 7-year-old Lexus.
Yeah.
So, he bought it when he bought it when he was still in the NHL. Yeah. It's probably 98.
It's the last piece of his fucking career.
That's it. Right. That's the one right there. He takes, well, it was until this day. Because on March 13th, he takes this. Now, it's him, 98 Lexus SUV with his 5-year-old daughter in the car.
Oh, no.
5-year-old daughter's in the car, mind you, okay? He hits a sewer drain, flattens 2 of the tires on the right side of the car, doesn't stop.
What?
He keeps going. He drives across multiple lawns.
Oh, my God.
Driving across lawns, hits a palm tree.
Oh, my Christ.
Doesn't stop.
What?
Keeps going. Drives across another lawn, takes out a mailbox. To the next lawn, takes out another mailbox.
Oh, boy.
From there, he went back down his own street, over more lawns, hit another palm tree.
Jesus.
Kept going from there and took out another fucking mailbox.
What the fuck is he doing?
He went around his neighborhood on lawns, bashing into palm trees and mailboxes. What the
problem
fuck are
with
you doing?
going through lawns is that it makes a track all the way the fuck to where you're going.
And it's in his neighborhood. It's not like he went somewhere else. They're like, what the fuck is Rudy doing? We all know him. He's the guy, the hockey player who lives right there. Yeah, with his Heather with the boob tat. With the boob tat. Yeah, we know her. What's going on? And his daughter's in the fucking car. That's the other. His daughter's in the car with him. 5 years old. He's bashing into palm trees. Yeah. He's lucky he didn't fucking hurt his kid, man.
Jesus.
Luckily, she is unharmed, which is good because this is ridiculous. Now it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Think that was crazy?
It gets worse?
Gets worse.
Oh, boy.
That was nothing, okay? He and his daughter get out of the vehicle. A neighbor runs over and grabs the daughter and takes him to the mother, who was coming outside, too. Gives it to Heather.
She's still there?
Heather's still there.
With
They're still together. With her tit two. Yeah, with her and her tit two are both there. What do you think it is? Her tit two.
I'm picturing a rose.
I thought it was a butterfly. I always go for a big gaudy one with color on it.
Yeah,
though.
Just right on the top, though, not on the nipple.
No, on top, so you can see it when she's wearing a cleavage
She's got to wear a tank top.
She's wearing her Hooters outfit. She wants you to see it.
She wants the rose out or the butterfly, whatever it is. Man. And the butterfly's sloppy as fuck. Yeah. It's a butterfly.
So it is.
Yeah.
Sloppy, you're right. So the neighbor takes the daughter to Heather. Police come, because police are called during all this. They come, they go to Rudy's house to get him, have a little chat with him, see what the fuck's up. He wasn't home and they couldn't find him.
Okay.
So they're hanging around.
Where the hell did he go?
Well, he turned up 90 minutes later. He was back an hour and a half later. A neighbor called police and said that this is odd, but you know that hockey guy that you guys were looking? He's hiding in my garage right now.
Oh, my God.
He's hiding in his neighbor's garage. This is how low we've fallen here. Fucking A, man.
He went from fighting at Madison Square Garden to hiding in a fucking garage.
Hiding behind some guy's a box with some guy's fake Christmas tree in it in his garage. It's very sad. Officers go to arrest him.
Yeah.
I assume they start approaching him like a scared deer. Like, come here, buddy. They got some feed in their hand. They're like, come on, it's okay. He bolted. He takes off. He's like, you're not taking me alive.
They didn't even grab some evidence Percocet and shake it in their palm.
Nothing. They should have. That would have been.
That would have got him out,
buddy.
Come on, little buddy.
What he does,
throw in the backseat of the car.
That's awesome.
Like a zag nut in the great outdoors.
There is now. Picture this Benny Hill scene, okay? Like a Zagnut in the great outdoors. So, here you go.
Here you go.
It's a Zagnut. Dink, dink. And he throws it on the hood. You got to give the tap on the hood before you throw it.
Unwraps it and everything.
Yeah. He does it all himself. Yeah. So the Bears, they know what they're doing. So now the crazy shit starts.
Yeah.
It's not crazy yet. Now it's great. There's a pond in the neighborhood. Picture this Benny Hill fucking. Yeah. Picture yakety sax playing. There's a pond.
Such a great song.
It's meant for this and for this to be played in fast motion.
Yeah.
There's a pond in the neighborhood. The police chase him twice around the pond.
Oh, my God.
They chase him in a fucking circle around the pond. I picture him looking back, dropping something, picking it up.
Or slowing down and putting his hands up. The cops start to walk, and then he takes off running again.
They all stop to take deep breaths, put their hands on their hips, look back, shake their head, then they all start running again, all in fast motion.
So good.
So, they finally catch up with him, but rather than fuck with him, they just shoot him with a taser.
Awesome.
So now they tase his ass. Okay, hit him with the charge. He goes down. This is our second tasering in a very short amount of time. They arrest him at 11 a.m. This is in the morning. This is happening.
This is crazy.
They arrest him. They charge him with being a habitual traffic offender, driving with a suspended license, resisting arrest without violence,
child endangerment,
leaving the scene of an accident with property damage, and driving with a child not wearing a seatbelt.
I love it.
That's what he gets here. He's taken to University Community Hospital in Carrollwood for treatment of head injuries related to the car accident. Hit his fucking head more.
Of course he did.
He was later booked into jail. He was held on $2,750 bail. The authorities said he did not appear intoxicated at all.
Really?
So, not fucked up.
Just fucked up.
Just fucked up in the head. Absolutely. Just really a lot of... That's a bad time here. His explanation for this...
This I can't wait for.
We have an explanation. And he says, at the time, he said, I was in a mind state that I hated the world. He said, I was like, fuck you, everyone can fuck off. I was popping pills and I didn't care. He says that a dog bolted across the street and he swerved off the road and hit a palm tree. Mm-hmm. He said, quote, I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, so I smoked my head. He said he was dazed and bleeding. His daughter was in the back seat, and he said he turned the car around and head for home. But he said he passed out and the vehicle left the road, driving over multiple lawns and taking out mailboxes before finally stopping at the base of a palm tree after the other mailboxes. He said he was out cold while this was all going on.
Right.
Okay. That's why you ran, hid in the garage, and dashed around a pond. He said he set off to find his wife after the neighbor took the daughter out of the vehicle. He said, quote, I wanted to talk to her, and then some kid saw me and said, there he is, and I ended up running. Hey, everybody, it's Enrico Palazzo. So he said, the cops were afraid of me or something, and they ended up tasering me. You think you're a fucking crazy person. He says that before the crash, even then and especially now, he's planning on moving his family to Kamloops and getting the fuck out of Tampa.
Really?
He's a criminal athlete, Jimmy. What is he going to do? He's going to move home. Come on. He had a junior. He's moving home. Yeah, he said, I was already planning on it because my parents are there. He said, and it was a part of going to court. My attorney told the court they're moving to Canada where he's got family. He sat in a jail for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He sold his house while he was in jail. They sold the Tampa house. He said, so I got out of jail and had maybe 3 weeks to pack up the house and get going.
Yeah.
Wow. That's 8 arrests in Florida. Good record there. April 20th, he's in court to answer charges of leaving the scene of an accident and all the things that we said. This is funny, he tells Judge Denise Pompanillo that he and his wife have a contract to sell their Tampa house and they're moving to British Columbia where he has family. She says, quote, I think it would probably be in the best interest of everyone if you left the country. I'm not saying that in an ugly way or a bad way.
Yeah.
I just want you the fuck out of the country because you're a menace.
That's amazing.
Hilarious. She said, I'm not saying that in an ugly way or a bad way.
Yeah.
The judge said that he'd be better served if he were near family and had a support group. She said that he can't even legally drive anywhere in the country. So, he's listed as a habitual offender. His record has all sorts of things here. He said he lost his license because of problems with immigration, which is strange. No. Under a plea agreement now, he is sentenced to 60 days in jail with a credit for the 37 he spent in jail.
Yeah.
As the hearing comes to a close, Pompanillo asked if Rudy would be getting a ride to Canada or if he would fly. And he said, quote, I'm not going to drive. She said, that's the answer I wanted to hear. And that was the end of the court. You're not driving, are you, motherfucker?
That's a long way.
That's a long way. You just
Here's
walk
the
there.
other thing. I've never heard a judge recommend that a criminal leave the country.
I think it'd be she said, I think it'd be better for everyone involved if you left the country. Just get the fuck out. That's all we want of you. Just leave. Go. No, I know you're legally okay to stay here, but we really want you out. You're a fuck up.
Criminals are constantly trying to leave the country, and judges are like, no, you will stay here in jail. And this one's like, no, please. Hit the border. Hit the bricks.
Hit the dusty trail, buddy. Let's go. Tell your story walking, homeboy.
That's great.
I love that so much. So, that's a 60-day sentence that he's going to serve another 3 weeks.
Right.
He moves back home. God damn it, breaking a rule right there. Moving back home. Still has no idea what he wants to do with his life.
Yeah.
He said he tried selling cars.
Or his own name.
or his own name. He tried selling cars.
Yeah.
Then he got a job working for a drilling company in Alberta.
Oh, my God.
Exactly like we said. I said that on purpose.
Wow.
He said after being temporarily laid off from that, and we'll find out why, by the way, he said he turned his attention to mining. We have an in their own words here.
That's not ideal work for a guy with a bad back.
And a head injury.
Right.
Let's put him in charge of heavy equipment.
And can't drive.
It's super weird. He could probably drive in Canada,
probably,
maybe.
Yeah.
He said in their own words, quote, you'd have these guys come in and they just came from Alberta working in the oil industry and they just had all this money. That's what made things better. Getting in the mining industry. I like it. It's a good group of guys. There's some camaraderie, kind of like hockey. When I'm there, I have roommates. It's like a little bit of being on the road.
Yeah.
This is like a fucking camp for him going to mining. He does, however, lose his job,
of course,
at the mining company for falling asleep on the clock too many times.
Jesus.
Because he probably can't help it.
Too many times.
So
wow.
He went from NHL, lower than that, been arrested, driving around with all this fucking shit, chased by... He's been tased after cops chased him around a pond twice because he had his daughter in the goddamn fucking car. So then he's writing mortgages, mining. He's fucking mining.
What a life.
He's drilling for oil. He's selling cars. What does he do? He goes home. He's fucking sitting there. Canada's beautiful. I guess that'll help. I have no idea. He's sitting outside. He doesn't know what to do with himself, and he hears some dogs barking. He's like, what's that in the distance? And he looks over, and it's Bobby Colorado, animal trainer from Fredericksburg, Texas. And he says... How is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong with you? Nah, seriously, I used to watch you when you was on the Rangers because I'm from Texas. I'm from Texas. I don't know. No, I've never been in New York.
When you were with the Arrows.
I stopped at LaGuardia once on a flight. It was a stopover. I was there for like an hour. I had a Nathan's hot dog at the food court. But outside of that, I never been to New York. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know any people there either or anything like that. Do you? You don't know. None of them asked about me, right? All right, never mind. Anyway, what the fuck is wrong with you? Huh? You got all this support. You got a nice wife. She got a nice tattoo on her boob. You know what I mean? I want a nice wife with a tattoo on her boob, but I had to leave mine. Never mind. I'm from Texas. So anyway... I don't understand what you're doing. You're fucking up. People are signing you. Now you're driving around in fucking circles, bashing into palm trees. You're a fucking jerk off. You know what you could have done while you was doing that? Not only could you have hurt your little girl, you could have run over a fucking dog. And then you'd have to deal with me. You understand that? Anybody fucks with dogs, you have to deal with... I can't take you. You're driving me. I got to get out of here. I got to... Poof. And a puff of dog shit and marinara sauce. He's gone.
Jesus.
Dogs are barking.
Fucking Christ.
Now he's really confused.
That was a
Rudy.
good one, by the way.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
As you can see from my notes, I write it all down.
There is nothing.
It just says Bobby Colorado. That's it. Fucking got to do it that way.
There is nothing there.
Not at all, baby. That's so. Anyway, by the way, if you're coming to a live show, I promise you this. All characters will be at the live show.
All of them.
They're all making an appearance.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's going to be crazy, and I'm going to have a stroke halfway through.
How are we doing that?
Don't you even worry. Don't you even worry.
All right.
So he's there. February of 2014. He's in Canada now. Yeah. He's up there. He's very confused about the dog guy coming to see him. You think he was confused before?
Oh Jesus!
Poof. Now he is hit with a 1-year driving probation in Canada.
Oh, no.
He has problems in Canada, too. This guy is bad with driving.
What the
shit? He's like fucking Ben Cousins, this guy.
He could have used an Uber.
He could have definitely used an Uber. It's 2014, too. He could have got a fucking Uber. Yeah, February, he continued to drive. He'd go to and from Princeton, where he worked.
Yeah.
And he'd also just run errands, go to the grocery store. Yeah. Just drove like it was nothing, which was fine. Didn't get in any trouble, really, besides being on the probation until July 5th, 2014, when there's an accident. Rudy backs his Volkswagen SUV into another vehicle in the Tranquil Road parking lot. He backs it into the vehicle. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but for him it is. Now, what he did is the female driver called the police at the time to get accident stuff.
As you do.
The prosecutor will say later, quote, when she was attempting to call the police, Mr. Poeschek freaked out, grabbed her and shook her and tried to take pieces of paper from her hand.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't grab and shake fucking women in parking lots.
Idiot.
He then fled the scene, returned again, and again tried to take the shit from her, grabbed her, tried to wrestle documents out of her hand. She's screaming, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. Like
last time he had an accident, though, he got tased, so now he's losing his mind. They're going to tase me.
Look at this woman, though. She said, let's just call the cops. He freaks out, shakes her. She's like, what the fuck? He runs away, and she's like, that was crazy. And then he comes back. You just ran away. Why are you coming back now?
Oh, my God.
Give me that paper. I want that paper. So weird. So the prosecutor describes Rudy's behavior as, quote, bizarre. They're just like, this isn't even like A to B criminal behavior. Like he wants to do this, so he does that. This is just weird. He's got head injuries.
Yeah.
Anyway, after he comes back and starts, tries to take the papers again. He takes off again. He runs away again. Police end up tracking him down. He's arrested for assault and driving while prohibited, and right by his home.
Yeah.
He's walking to his house.
Same kind of charges in
Same
Florida.
thing, assault, driving while prohibited, released on a promise to appear in court, basically his own recognizance.
Right.
Later that day.
Oh, my God, no.
Same fucking day, he's pulled over again.
Sweet
Again, en route to his job at a mine in Princeton.
Jesus.
And he's fucking arrested again and charged with prohibited driving. What a fucking idiot.
Unbelievable.
Rudy's explanation of what happened with the lady, he's got an explanation. He said, quote, "I kind of had a flashback feeling to Tampa. I effed up backing up and I hit a car and I just felt like the world was crashing down on me." He knew he didn't have, he was no license.
He knew there was going to be a problem.
He was trying to bribe the lady. He was trying to go, "We don't need to call the cops. We don't need to get insurance involved. Look, let me just give you my no, I'll give you $1,000. Let me just write you a check. I'll give that. It's $500 it's going to cost to fix that. Let's just take care of this now. We don't, our rates are going to go up.
It's going to be crazy.
I sell insurance."
Right.
Not that he does, but whatever. So, he didn't want to do any of that, but she called 911. And that was that. He said, quote, "I was trying to grab my papers back," because she had his vehicle paperwork calling insurance saying, "Oh, it was this car," whatever. He said, quote, "I acted stupidly. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I didn't even realize what I was doing with the emotions." Yeah, that's
not a good excuse at all.
That's a fucking bad day.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I didn't know what I was doing.
That's a dangerous man.
Yeah, right now he's out there, and there's a reason for that, too. August 8th, 2014, he's pulled over again.
Oh, my God.
Near Courtney Lake, and charged again with...
You mean like a habitual...
prohibited driving, like a habitual traffic offender. October 2014, he's stopped and arrested again with driving while prohibited for a fourth time since he's been in Canada. May 2015, he pleads guilty for the assault on the woman backing out of the parking lot incident. Over the next few months, you'd think he would calm down, chill the fuck out. I'm good now. I had a problem. I saw the white light, came and it went, and I'm good now. No, arrested twice more for driving while prohibited over the next few months after pleading guilty for the first one. Yeah, between May 2015 and September 2015, he's arrested twice more.
Jesus.
Fucking twice
Christ.
more. Wow. September 14th, 2015 is the sentencing for the July arrest. And what they do is they cram all of his driving offenses he's had all into one, smash it in there. He's sentenced to 45 days in jail and a $1,500 fine for everything, which isn't bad. He handed him it's a 6-month conditional sentence for assault and also banned him from driving or consuming alcohol for the same period. So, also to the 45-day jail term for driving offenses will be served intermittently.
What?
When he's got time.
What?
I got a day. I'm going to come serve a day.
Canada.
They're so nice. They're so like. Well, he's got to work, I mean, he's got to get there. I mean, his kid's got a hockey game on the 3rd. I mean, he's got to go to that. You got to get him in there.
Heather's going to be alone.
He's going to be alone.
She's going to be so lonely. We can't have him.
I kind of always got a liken to that butterfly tattoo on her boob.
I dig tit tattoos. Tattoos are great.
So October 21st. 2015 is when a lot of the CTE case pops with the NHL.
Okay.
He is part of the lawsuit suing the NHL, just like the NFL players are suing the NFL for concussion issues.
Yes.
If you don't know about this, you get hit in the head a whole shitload, it breaks your brain into pudding.
It's a problem.
It's a fucking problem. And the leagues tried to cover it up, and Gary Bettman is a fucking scumbag, too.
He is.
The internal documents they uncovered about him just trying to push it under the rug and going, who gives a fuck? Right. What a silver-haired, middle-aged cocksucker he is. Fuck that guy. Dude, I was disgusted by that. He made Roger Goodell look like fucking Mother Teresa.
It's not just that it makes your brain, it slows down your motor functions and causes brain damage and problems.
Everything, man.
That affects not just them. That affects their family. That affects your life and our lives when they're out in fucking public. This guy's bashing into cars and shit.
That's what I mean. And he can't control himself. Mm-hmm. And when he gets freaked out and his emotions get a little ahead of him, he can't control them anymore. Right. So what does he do? He grabs a fucking lady and tries to grab papers out of her hand.
When it's a bad person in the first place,
then
Aaron
it's terrible.
Hernandez,
Somebody
then
like
people
that.
fucking die.
Then people die. This guy
it's terrible.
Wasn't a terrible person to begin with. He's just a fucking idiot. And he got hooked on pills. And I honestly feel bad for this guy.
It's so scary.
I mean, he did everything he was supposed to do.
Right.
He's in Canada. You're supposed to play hockey. He played hockey. He played in the NHL. You're supposed to be a tough guy. So he did that. Right. He did everything they told him to do. Yeah. He got out of the NHL. He tried to invest his money right. They said, don't just sit on your money. Don't waste it. Don't be an idiot. Put it in mutual funds like somebody smart. So it fucking crashes. He does that.
Everything.
Be a mortgage broker. That's good. Blah, blah. Nope, that doesn't work.
No.
Nothing has worked for this guy, and he has literally tried his hardest to always do the best he can.
He fell to mining, James.
That's what I mean.
He is fucking mining.
If you're mining, good for you, no
you're
doubt.
A hero.
I guarantee you didn't play in the fucking NHL, though. That's the point. That's the point we're trying to get. If you're in the NHL, that is a step down.
Right.
This is a step down.
It's tough.
Anything's a step down from professional sports.
He's got to go down to manual labor work.
Yeah.
It's a great job if you got a fucking union behind you.
Yeah, it's fine.
But if you're a guy that you had everything and now you're mining, that's brutal.
It's tough, man. In these documents of the CTE thing, they talk about multiple fights that he had that are in these documents and what happened to him. They talk about the fight with Berube where he had a concussion and everything went black after the white.
Yeah.
November 93, in a fight with Mark Tenorti, Rudy's nose was broken and he saw stars. After the game, he was very spacey and out of it and just post-concussion.
Yeah.
They didn't know about
That's
that
what
then.
happens.
They knew about it. The doctor, the upper echelon fucking knew about it, and they just ignored it and said they're fine.
Yeah.
So that's what happened there. Another fight with Donald Brashear. He lost his balance and hit his head on the ice and got a concussion.
Yeah.
That's ironic with Brashear.
Yeah.
Cracking your head on the ice. But Rudy did. In his rookie year, he hadn't gotten a fight with Dave Brown. I hope that's not the former Giant quarterback who sucked terribly and played at Duke, I believe.
I hope he beat his ass.
He was terrible. That guy caused my father to throw a remote control about 30 feet across the house and exploded into 30 feet. It was fucking exploded everywhere from Dave Brown, the shitty Giants quarterback. Fuck you, Dave Brown. So he said he got in a fight with him, and he said he was hit so hard in that fight that he saw black, and he said it felt like he stepped into a dark room.
Wow.
No vision at all.
Yeah.
The only treatment he received for any of these concussions was an ice bag. They just gave him an ice bag. They didn't further examine him. The medical guys on the team said, there you go.
Yeah.
Throw that on your head, pal. That'll feel better.
When I was 5 years old, I was jumping on a bed and fell off and hit my head on a block. Like those fucking wood blocks with the letters and shit on them.
Yeah.
And I got up. I don't remember it. My mom told me about it, but I came into the living room to tell her that my head hurt and I had it was bleeding and all that shit. And she told me to go back to my room and she was going to bring a rag to clean it up. And I walked to the front door and smashed into it and fell down. And that's when she realized I couldn't see. And so she took me to the hospital. The hospital kept me overnight.
Yeah.
And this guy's getting a fucking ice bag and sent on his way.
Because he's a hockey player. And they go, well,
it's bananas.
You're going to be a pussy?
I was diagnosed with a concussion, obviously.
You don't
and they kept me overnight
guys
to make sure that I was okay.
You go, I'm not a pussy. I don't have a concussion. Like,
I
that's
probably
a decision.
have major brain damage from it. It's probably why I attempted suicide. But
like, that's a decision that you made. Like,
right.
Yeah, like,
right.
Like, it's fucking so stupid, man. And
anyway.
It's ridiculous.
Point is, you need more than a fucking ice bag to treat that. You need medical attention.
It's ridiculous. He says that he in the suit it says Mr. Poeschek has been, and will continue to be damaged as a direct and proximate result of NHL's misconduct, as described herein. Among other things, Mr. Poeschek continues to suffer on a daily basis from insomnia, short-term memory loss, anxiety, mood swings, and anger issues, forgetfulness, and general frustration.
My God,
he's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And he says, and this is what's sad too, this is his quote on it. He says, quote, I did what I had to do to get into the league, but you're oblivious. You're young. He's fucking 17. He's playing hockey. You don't think you're going to have these issues. Nobody tells you. They're in denial. They don't want you to get, they don't want to have to get out their wallets. Once you're done with them, they don't care about a player like me.
It's not that they have to get out their wallets. They have to fucking sew up their wallet and not make the money because you're fucking bringing crowds for fighting.
Too. He says, unless you're a superstar in the league, they don't care about you when you're done. And we've said that repeatedly.
Yes.
Silver-haired, middle-aged white men, number one on that. Yeah, no, they don't want to break out their wallets because if they pay you, they're going to have to fucking pay everybody. There's no way to play hockey and not get concussions. There's no way to play football and not get concussions.
You think
that
even if you're a star, they don't care. If you're not a star, they don't care about you. Ask Junior fucking Seau. He was a star and they still didn't give a fuck.
That's the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying, though, it doesn't matter what sport it is.
The NFL set you on fire when you're done. Right. They don't give a shit.
If you're a star, it doesn't matter what sport it is.
No, but they all acted like kid gloves with Lindros. Like, oh, poor guy. He's going to be Lemieux. Same thing. It was fine with him. That Crosby nowadays they're way different, but I mean this was the 90s, 80s. Him, they were just like, you're a fucking enforcer. Of course your head hurts.
Right.
You got punched in it 10 times, dummy. Fucking
just yesterday.
Get it ready for tomorrow. That's it. It was like, what the fuck are you doing here? What he said basically was the mission statement of the silver-haired middle-aged white men there. Unless you're a superstar in the league, they don't care about you when you're done. Lawsuit claims, obviously, all the concussive and concussive events were ignored. He talked about how he'd go to the penalty box and clear his head and then get right back on the ice. A few times he asked a trainer if he should worry about the times he couldn't see, and they would tell him that it was fine. The trainer go, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
No, I can't see.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, just clear out your head.
You know how you got eyes and they work? Mine don't.
I can't see a thing.
Not a goddamn thing.
I'm looking at you and there's nothing
There's
here.
nobody
You
there.
might not even be there. You might be behind me. I might not be looking at you. He said, actually, about this is crazy. He said, quote, I asked one of the doctors, I get tagged sometimes and I see black. What is that? Is that going to affect me later on? And then he said, quote, he basically dismissed it. Nah, you're fine. You're a hockey player. You'll be fine. There's about 80 players that were in the suit at this point. It originally filed with 20 players in June of in 2013. So a lot of players are doing this. We have an in their own word on what Rudy's up to nowadays, how he feels. This is sad. In their own words, quote, I misplace everything every day. It's a disaster. In the summertime, it's hot and it cools off at night. I'll go up and turn the air conditioning off and open all the windows, then go back to what I was doing. 10 minutes later, I go back to turn the air conditioning to turn off the air conditioning again. I forgot I turned it off.
Oh my God.
He's in that space. He's like my grandmother now.
That is terrible.
Yeah. So his wife, Heather, said that she's been creative to try to keep things from going missing because he can't remember shit. She said, quote, I try to think, let's have a set place for keys, wallet, and for phone. I try not to think about it because if I think about it, I get really upset. She says his personality has also changed. He's been quick to get angry, even suffering hearing loss now.
Yeah.
She said, quote, his hearing has quickly lately just gone horribly. I used to think he was just tuning me out, but he cannot hear. Then he gets agitated. It's a circle of madness. I don't want to think about what this could be.
Yeah, but also, too,
it's fucking sad, man.
Side effect of painkiller abuse is hearing loss.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's probably part of it,
getting
too.
Hit in the fucking head a shitload,
getting
too.
Smashed in the head and then taking pills to combat it.
Yep.
That's a nasty, vicious cycle.
And then he talks about how, a lot of guys have died early.
Yeah.
Because they've had and it's not just the CTE doesn't kill them necessarily, but they do crazy shit that causes their death, like Junior Seau, all of these guys. Yeah. Every time a guy kills himself or does something crazy, ends up dead, they test his brain. It's fucking pudding. Period. Right. It is butterscotch. Right. End of story.
It is.
It's true. It's true. It's sad.
It's funny and it's fucking depressing because all I see is just Bill Cosby going Jello pudding pop. And that's what their brain is made
sad
of, right?
From Bill Cosby,
and then
too.
he rapes a chick. So.
Yeah, well, that's sad always. Rudy said he wakes up every morning knowing about people in the premature deaths. He said, it does cross my mind. I try not to think about it too much. I probably hide what I'm thinking a lot of the times because you don't fucking know. Yeah. Bob Probert died in 2010 of a big heart attack, and he was a hardcore alcoholic and into drugs, and Probert had a hard time after. And he was hardcore CTE, too.
Sure.
Very much so. He said about Probert, quote, first off, I was sad. I knew everything he gave to the game. With a guy like that, it makes you wonder, too. We had similarities in our fighting styles. We didn't mind taking a punch to make a punch. It's
just so funny to hear a guy that is playing a sport say, I had a fighting style.
I had a fighting style. Yeah, like you're a fucking MMA guy. And both of them had the style of grab you with the left hand, punch with the right. So when they got together, it was grab, grab, punch, punch. So they probably damaged each other.
Yeah.
But he did that with everybody, Probert. Rudy said he would definitely like to donate his brain to CTE research, but hopefully not for a long time. He said, quote, I think it would be a good idea. Hopefully it's no time soon. It's something that you don't want to think about, but it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I would say
for
so.
Sure.
June of 2016, he was still searching for work. He says, quote, I definitely still have to work. He made about $3 million in his NHL career.
That's
a little
not
shy
a lot.
of it, about 2.8.
And he lost 70% of it in the fucking NASDAQ.
He said, quote, but taxes, a divorce, it goes pretty fast.
You bet.
Stock, too.
$3 million ain't nothing.
He has another driving offense somewhere in here that we can't find a date. June of 2017, just this year, he fails to appear in court.
God damn it, Rudy.
Doesn't appear in June. Damn it, Rudy. June 15th, 2017, they issue a warrant for missing a court date on a new charge. The charge was on the original charge that he was supposed to be in court for was breaching his probation. And then now he's got another warrant for failure to appear. October 12th, 2017, he's to answer for that. The missing the date earlier. He's supposed to stand trial in December for breaching probation and failing to appear. They schedule it now for December. He says he tells the news that his memory's failing him. He said the breach charge was laid out after he forgot about a meeting with his probation officer. He also said he nearly forgot to show up to a previous court date the last year. He said, I don't fucking know what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
You need to give your wife the dates and have her fucking help you, or hire an assistant.
There, clearly.
Something. But he's suing the NHL. He's suing, everything, the CTE lawsuit. Heads on, it goes on. And honestly, I hope all these fucking players win these goddamn suits. Them, the NFL guys, all of them. I'm sorry, but they get their fucking heads beaten in, and they goddamn knew about that shit for years.
How much fucking money do you need, Jerry Jones?
That's what I mean. And I'll even say, I would like it if they gave all the old guys money too, but they didn't know about it in the 70s. They didn't know about it in the...
Right.
The second they fucking found one speck of it, they didn't say a word.
Not a word.
I want every guy from that forward to get paid out, because that's bullshit. Anyway, can't get enough of Rudy. By the way, we did not do the mistaken identities because there's no one else on fucking earth besides his kid named Rudy Poeschek.
That's great.
Nobody.
Good for you.
Difficult. So I got to not look up a bunch of people.
Good for everybody not being confused with this mess.
That saved me an hour of looking into people and finding out what they do. Can't get enough, though. By the way, when you type in Rudy Poeschek auto parts comes up before autograph.
What?
Just so you know. Auto parts comes up before autograph in a Google search. So that's depressing.
That means he's searching for new auto parts for his cars that he's wrecked.
Rudy Poeschek car parts. So if you are looking, though, there are autographed cards out there and autographed things. We have an autographed 1996 Upper Deck card. Is $22.78 plus $5.99 shipping.
That's a deal.
That's not bad. An autographed St. Louis Blues puck, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's
it's a
really
puck
cool.
with the Blues logo and his signature. Pretty awesome, actually. $12.99 only.
That's better than the fucking card.
Not bad. Plus $7 shipping.
Yeah.
Also, a signed New York Rangers photo of Rudy that says, quote, "To Linda, best of luck."
Who the fuck is Linda?
Oh, my God. Problem is the person just said, "Can you autograph that to Dave?"
Yeah.
Fucking pudding brain. He didn't get it. He said, "Okay, Linda, here you go." No, that's the actual photo is a picture of him on the Rangers. It says, "To Linda, best of luck."
That's
and
amazing.
It's an autograph. It's $15 plus $3 shipping. It's pretty fucking hilarious if you ask me.
You can buy an autographed picture from him with somebody else's name on it.
That's
my favorite part.
I like that shit a lot. And that is Rudy Poeschek.
My God.
A crazy hockey player with not really being all his fault, but still, what a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's still partially his fault because
he
did do the shit that got him in trouble.
Yeah, but like I said at the time, he just did what he thought was what everyone told him was the right thing to do.
Life,
it was not like it wasn't like he smoked 5 packs a day and the doctors were going, "Hey man, you're going to get cancer," and he got cancer. They were like, he asked, "Is this okay?" And they were like, "You're good. You're good now. Fuck it. You're good. You'll be fine tomorrow. Don't worry about it."
He went through the 80s too. It's not like they were like feeding him cocaine with all those say no to drugs ads, and then he's being a nudnik because of that.
Not at all. They were just telling him, "Your head's fine, buddy.
Your head's good."
Fuck, man. It's crazy. If you like that story, I know what you can do.
Yeah.
You can get on iTunes. You can give us 5 stars.
Do that.
Tell us how much you loved this show and everything about it, or just say anything. Tell us you're following directions, following instructions. We don't care. It's not for our ego. It is for business purposes. If you need to do more, like these amazing producers you're going to hear about in a second here, if you need to do more, you can do that, and we are so appreciative of that.
So thankful.
By going to patreon.com/crimeandsports to make a monthly donation, or you can go over to make a one-time donation at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Please get your tickets for Lincoln Hall December 14th in Chicago.
Yes.
LH-ST.com. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do that at Crime and Sports on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports, and crimeandsports@gmail.com. Jimmy, why don't you hit us with that list?
First of all, Susan Olgis, she's a truck driver, and she sends snaps and stuff to me. But she sent me a snap of her trying the Fudgsicle and
I saw that. So cool.
Challenge. James believes that Fudgicles probably taste like Yoo-Hoo. He believes that they are just frozen Yoo-Hoo. And Susan actually, first of all, she melted it down, and it says on the package that there's 2 ounces or 2.5 ounces, I believe it said 2.5. Bullshit. First of all,
Does the stick count?
It may be weight. It may maybe weight. It could be because it is actually 1.7 fluid ounces of chocolate that makes a fudgicle. And also, she melted it down and tried it. She tried it, then washed her mouth out, and then tried the Yoo-Hoo. And Yoo-Hoo, she said, is better.
Well, I would think, yeah.
The fudgicle is much more chocolatey, she did say,
So what we're saying, if we froze Yoo-Hoo, we'd have something special here.
We might have something a little less chocolatey and a little more refreshing.
Thank you for doing that field work for me, because now I can do it. Thank you. Good work.
Appreciate you. So Jess Landgren and Christiane Castaldi again.
God damn it. Thank you, guys.
They're
so generous.
They almost lead the charge in financing this shit for us.
No, they really do.
It's
honestly.
amazing.
Thank you guys so much.
Fantastic two women.
It's hard to do without you.
We're going to be in Boston next month, or February rather,
February 18th, as a matter of fact.
Chrissy for sure in
yes,
person. So
we will absolutely do that.
Andrea Peck sent us a package last week. I just wanted to mention her. James Cook, Ingrid Stoke, the one from Arstocky. Shit, I'm not sure. She's in North Korea. No, it's not.
Oh, yeah. Norway.
In Norway.
Yes.
I see NOK.
She sent us more North Korean money.
Cash. Yeah, she sent
Thank you
more.
so much for letting
And
North
she
Korean
signed up for Patreon, so thank you so much, Ingrid.
God,
You're
that's
terrific.
awesome. Thank you.
Nick Laycock, Nick, again, this week, second time, or third time maybe. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
That's
I lost
amazing,
track
man.
of how many times I've said Laycock.
Wow.
Lena Fisher, Sierra Plotz, Lisa White, Danita, Danita Laudenschlager, Slager. Ludenschluger. I could ruin this name so many different ways
all day long.
That's like that Rudenhauser or whatever his name was in League of Their Own. No, not League of Their Own. It's Rookie of the Year.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Rudenbacher. Her last name could be ruined so many different ways. Kent
and you
Rowe,
would ruin it.
And I'll find every different way. Cat Power again. She sent some dough again. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.
And that's Cat Kapow Designs.
Kapow,
she makes shit.
Yeah,
so
look up her stuff and buy some from her.
Kapow. CAPAW. Fuck. CAPOW
there
Designs.
You go.
Find that stuff and send her money and make her make you some shit.
Kat's always good to us.
She's a good person. I like her a lot. Michelle Swinfield, Sarah Gilbo. She's donated a few times too. Thank you, Sarah. Emily, not going to do it. Emily Wenner. It's Wenner.
There you go.
I think it's Wenner.
What'd you want to call her?
I don't want to call her that.
Okay, you were going for Wiener, weren't you, Jimmy?
I don't want to do that to her. It's probably Wenner.
Yes, probably.
Katie Johnson, and then it's Caston Johnson, and I called him a woman. I didn't call him a woman, but I assumed that he was a female. He is definitely not a female. Rodney Horn, Gabrielle Orelli, that's it. Dana Grayson again. John Taylor, Michelle Strand, Marius Zal Johnson, Susan August, like I said, or Olgus. I believe it's Olgus. Steve Lexa, Laura Christensen, Kristen Mailhot, or Malott, or Malo. It could be Malo. I'm going to breeze right by
something. It's one of those.
Mike
starts with M.
Mike Ribeiro, not Georgia. It's Ginger CK. CH.
Yeah, CH.
What the shit?
Jesus.
What am I doing?
A Ginger CK is something else.
I know. That's a terrible person. A Ginger CK will force you to watch things you don't want to watch.
That's right.
Dan Anderson, Hannah Edinger. Again, she's terrific.
Thank you, Hannah.
Adrian, Nick, Krezovich. No, it's an N. That's Nezovich. That's it.
Yeah?
Because you don't pronounce the K, right? When there's a KN, you never pronounce the K.
Not
it
usually.
Could be Knezovich, but it's probably
it depends
Nezovich.
on what it is, yeah.
It's Nick Nezovich.
Well,
I'm
in
sure
English, there's the KN, but in other cultures, it's actually kind of...
Can't put consonants together
Jesus
like that.
Christ.
It
No,
ruins
come on,
everything.
Pete.
Hannah Hardman, Matt Jelinek. It's Jelinek. I think so.
I like how you say it with a surety after you screw it up three times.
Much
like,
confidence.
Sure
Absolutely. Kyle Letcher, or Letcher. Sean Streeter, Paul Hagens, Amanda Windsor, Anita, it's Eden, not Anita. Why would I do that? Eden Finelli, Marie Shariko, and Sarah upped her donation. She doesn't have a last name, just Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bronwyn English, that's fun. Nicole Peterson. Nicole Peterson Green, Tanya Body, Ashley Collins, Kylie Harmon, Caritina? No, it's Caratina.
Caratina.
That's got to be it. Mills.
Okay.
Karen Warner,
Caratina.
Jennifer Batchelder. They are fucking tough this week.
Jesus,
Holy
you are
Christ.
dying over there. You're drowning.
Not easy. Jamie Noonan, Stigen, really? Stijn. You pronounce that. Stigen de Boer.
Steigen?
Steen? Maybe it's Stein. It could be German. Steen.
Okay.
I'm going to convince you of so many ways.
We're making it worse.
Yeah. So Terry Stodinger, that one's an easy one, right? I probably just fucked that up. And she's like, it's not as easy as you think it is a dickhead.
No.
Anthony Connell, Jackie Neal, Timothy Young, Jennifer Boney, or Boner. No.
Jennifer Boner?
Jennifer, there's no R.
Okay, so why? You just wanted to say
Jennifer
Bonner.
Vonnie.
All right.
I think that's it. Thomas Gallagher, Adam Baker, Ben Ocote, Maddie Gallagher, Jake Coate. So there's a Ben Ocote and then there's a Jake Coate. It may be Cody.
Oh, there you go.
It could be any of those. Cote, it could be.
Yes.
And Sophie Krokvist.
Croc? You just said Croc.
Krokvist. Krokvist.
Okay.
Krokvist.
Sure.
I don't know. Adrienne Gepner in Oklahoma. She's terrific, and she's a mom. She's fucking hysterical on Snapchat. Find her and laugh. She's fantastic.
Awesome.
And then Courtney Gross. Thank you all so much.
God, guys,
for everything.
thank you
this
so
week
much.
Was fucking fantastic.
Yes, thank you guys for hanging out with us through the holidays.
Yeah.
And God damn it, those people are amazing.
Unbelievable.
I'm
so thankful.
Every week. Thank you guys so much. So seriously,
yes.
From the bottom of our hearts, every dime we take it to heart, and it's not just like, oh, that's got a dime to spend.
Right.
We're like, dude, that guy, that person, that woman,
they give
guy,
a shit.
They actually care enough to take the time to do that.
Right.
I mean, if we were standing in front of them, they might throw us a buck or something. But to actually get online, actually go into your phone, go into a thing. Put the effort, put your card. That's awesome. And thank you guys so much for that. What if one of these fine people wanted to get a hold of a fella kind of like you? How would
find
they do
me
that?
at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Thank you guys so much for this week. It was incredible. Seeing your Thanksgiving was pretty kick-ass too.
Yeah,
and,
we enjoyed that.
I hope you enjoyed seeing mine. So stick around, play along. We appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Definitely. You didn't see my Thanksgiving because I'm super weird and private. But, also, too, another thing quick before I say this. We're going to do a live show in Phoenix in the spring.
Yes.
And my grandmother is coming to the show.
Get out of my life.
Yes. Badass grandma, as you've hashtagged her. Badass grandma who hid from the Nazis and shit. She will be there. She can't wait. And she's going to say a couple words and wave to everybody.
Oh, yes.
She's going to do the whole thing.
Bring
She's
her
a
on
ham.
Stage.
She's a ham. She'll love it.
I can't wait.
She'll love it. So we're going to do that so you can meet Badass Grandma, too, as an extra added bonus. You can get a hold of me at Jimmy P is Funny, or you can try to spell my last name. Good luck. There's an I in there. Try to find it. It's like an Easter egg hunt.
Best of luck.
Copy and paste from the show description. Don't be a hero. Do that, and we will keep getting back to you each and every single week because we're more addicted to this than you are. I guarantee fucking it. We love it, and we love you guys. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey. Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.